AJ Yaley, Phoenix, Arizona.
Ty Dillon, Lexington, North Carolina.
Row 17.
Ross Chastain, Alva, Florida.
Zane Smith, Huntington Beach, California.
Here we go.
Row 16.
Harrison Burton, Huntersville, North Carolina.
Brian Blaney, Hartford, Ohio.
Row 15.
Anthony Alfredo, Ridgefield, Connecticut.
Noah Gregson, Las Vegas, Nevada.
Row 14.
Eric
NASCAR
Jones, Byron, Michigan. Corey LaJoy,
NOCO,
North Carolina.
Row 13.
Justin Haley, Winamac, Indiana.
Austin Cindric, Mooresville, North Carolina.
Row 12.
Chase Elliott, Dawsonville, Georgia.
Alex Bowman, Tucson, Arizona.
Row 11.
Christopher Bell, Norman, Oklahoma.
Brad Keselowski, Rochester Hills, Michigan.
Row 10.
Michael McDowell, Glendale, Arizona.
Kyle Larson, Elk Grove, California.
Row 9.
Austin Dillon, Welcome, North Carolina.
Kyle Busch, Las Vegas, Nevada.
Row 8.
Ricky Stenhouse Jr., Olive Branch, Mississippi.
Joey Logano, Middletown, Connecticut.
Row 7.
AJ Allmendinger, San Jose, California.
Todd Gilliland, Mooresville, North Carolina.
Row 6.
Ty Gibbs, Charlotte, North Carolina.
Denny Hamlin, Chesterfield, Virginia.
And now the top 10 starters. Starting 10th.
Chris Buescher, Prosper, Texas.
Starting 9th.
Bubba Wallace, Mobile, Alabama.
Starting 8th.
William Byron, Charlotte, North Carolina.
Starting 7th.
Kevin Harvick, Bakersfield, California.
Starting 6th.
Tyler Reddick, Corning, California.
Starting 5th.
Martin Truex Jr., Mayetta, New Jersey.
Starting 4th.
Chase Briscoe, Mitchell, Indiana.
Starting 3rd.
Eric Almirola, Tampa, Florida.
Starting 2nd.
Daniel Suarez from Monterrey, Mexico.
And starting on the pole.
Brian Priest, Berlin, Connecticut.
That's the starting lineup for the NOCO 400.
Thank you, Fred Armstrong. That is the way they will line up for today's NOCO 400 NASCAR Cup Series race. In case you're just joining us, Chase Elliott is back in the field today. Chase qualified in the 24th position. He's got some work to do. And there are lots of storylines that we're going to be following for you over the course of the 400 laps today. We mentioned that this is the final race in a 3-race short track swing. Richmond, Bristol Dirt, and obviously Martinsville today. Next week, we'll stretch out and let things fly at the 2.66 mile Talladega Superspeedway. But today, it's all about racing on the paperclip and all the mayhem that it has the tendency to produce. If you're a fan of Stewart-Haas Racing, you should love this starting lineup. All 4 of your cars are in the top 10. Hendrick Motorsports is going for its 28th win today, but a different look at the starting lineup than what we're used to seeing. Used to seeing a lot of Hendrick cars concentrated towards the top of the starting order. Well, we've got William Byron, who'll start in 8th. Got Kyle Larson rolling off in 19th. Alex Bowman in 23rd. Chase Elliott in 24th. We mentioned Chase being back after running only 2 races this year. And what about Ross Chastain? He stole all the headlines last year with that wall crawl to the checkered flag and his making his way into the championship 4. He's going to start back in the 34th position. And he's got company back there, too. We'll watch Ross climb his way forward. Ryan Blaney's in 31st. We mentioned Chase Elliott, Alex Bowman, 24th, 23rd. So you've also got Christopher Bell in 22nd. Last week's winner and pre-race favorite to win. You put all that together and you turn all that loose on a half-mile racetrack. Yeah, it turns into the half mile of mayhem, and that is what the Martinsville Speedway is about to become. Race fans have gathered into their seats. We are headed trackside right now for pre-race ceremonies for the NOCO 400.
Ladies and gentlemen, at this time, we would ask you to please rise as you are able. Remove your hats as the William Byrd High School Naval National Defense Cadet Corps presents our nation's colors. Here to offer today's invocation, please welcome from Rich Acres Christian Church, Tim Hunt.
Pray with me, please. Heavenly Father, we thank you for the opportunity to be here at the Martinsville Speedway and to enjoy this amazing race. And we pray right now for your protection over the drivers, over their teams, the NASCAR officials, all those who are working behind the scenes. And I pray a special protection over our first responders who are taking care of us here at the track and also all over our community. So, Father, we just thank you for this opportunity and the blessings you give us every day. And we pray this prayer in the strong name of Jesus. Amen.
Here to perform our national anthem, please welcome singer, songwriter, and Capital Nashville recording artist, Kaylee Hammock.
Oh, see Can you see by the dawn's early light what so proudly we held at the twilight's last gleaming, whose broad stripes and bright stars through the perilous fight on the ramparts we watched were so gallantly gleaming, and the rocket's red glare, the bombs bursting in air, gave proof through the night that our flag was still there. Oh, say does that star-spangled banner yet wave o'er the land of the free and the home of the brave.
When we return, Jeff Striegel, Alex Hayden, and Todd Gordon take over from the booth with Dave Moody saddled up and ready for action in the corners for the NOCO 400.
Will they find a home? Sponsored by Geico. Susan has always wanted to live in a chateau.
Yep.
I like a certain
400 laps,
while
just
Jake
over
is more into the Cape
200
Cod style
miles.
home.
It's a
That's
classic.
a paperclip.
Compromise is tough, but these two won't have to compromise when they bundle home and car insurance with Geico. It's easy, and they could save even more. In the end, Susan and Jake found a Cape Cod style home where they will only speak French.
Bonjour, je t'aime, merci beaucoup, and cordon bleu.
You'll get better with time. Bundling without compromise at geico.com.
Looking for motorsports coverage you can't find anywhere else? Look no further than the Motor Racing Network's lineup of weekly podcasts. NASCAR news and interviews on NASCAR Live and NASCAR Live Wide Open. NASCAR Cup Series Insight on Crew Call. NASCAR Grassroots Racing News and Talk on NASCAR Coast to Coast. And Sprint Car Talk on Wing Nation. All these and more available on podcast platforms and MRN.com.
From Martinsville Speedway, this is the Motor Racing Network, the voice of NASCAR.
For 3 decades, Racing Electronics has been the #1 choice for scanners, headsets, and all race communications needs. Racing Electronics provides the ultimate fan experience for the ultimate NASCAR fan. Don't forget to rent early because Racing Electronics rentals must be purchased in advance online. Hear uncensored communication from every team in the race with a scanner from Racing Electronics. Stop by and see them in the vendor area to purchase your very own. Visit racingelectronics.com for more information.
The Tough Trucks of NASCAR, an exclusive podcast from the Motor Racing Network.
Wrong corner today. Green flag is in the air, and he will take the field quickly to turn 1.
Relive the moments of the NASCAR Craftsman Truck Series from its debut in 1995.
Checkered flag in the air. Skinner wins with the inaugural for the NASCAR Truck Series by Craftsman.
The legends of the NASCAR Craftsman Truck Series.
Todd Bodine wins 4 in a row on super speedways.
The Tough Trucks of NASCAR. Available on podcast platforms and MRN.com.
Today at the Martinsville Speedway in Virginia, the NOCO 400 is the third and final race in a 3-race short track swing for the NASCAR Cup Series. Kyle Larson claimed his first win of the year 2 weeks ago in Richmond. Last week on the Bristol Dirt, Christopher Bell got his first win of the year. C-Bell leads the charge into Martinsville. He won the last time we raced here, and he's a favorite today. But Christopher knows long-term thinking pays the bigger prize.
We always talk about like short run, long run, and typically like a short run is like your 5 to 10 lap runs. Long runs would be like 40 to 50. But at Martinsville, you still have that 10 to 20 lap run, and then you have that 40 to 50 lap run, and then all of a sudden you have the 100, 120 lap runs. So it definitely gets taxing whenever you get late into the stages, but you know, I think those whenever you get deep into the runs, that's when everyone starts struggling, and that's whenever it gets really enjoyable because you're able to separate yourself as drivers.
Live from Martinsville, the NASCAR Cup Series NOCO 400. Next.
Live on the Motor Racing Network, it's the NASCAR Cup Series.
It's going to be thumbs up. Get ready to rock and roll past the race cars today, pal. Pull boys, let's execute. Have a good day.
Today, the NOCO 400 from Martinsville Speedway. Sponsored by NOCO. Start dead batteries with NOCO Boost Ultra Safe Lithium Jump Starter. By Geico. Switch to Geico today and see all the ways you could save. By Coca-Cola. Is Coke Zero Sugar the best Coke ever? Take a taste and see. By Progressive. Drivers who switch and save with Progressive save nearly $700 on average. By eBay Motors. With all the right parts at the right prices. Visit ebaymotors.com. By Liberty University. Enter to win one of several scholarships at liberty.edu/24. By Ruoff Mortgage. Buying a house? Contact Ruoff Mortgage at ruoff.com, where they open doors to a stress-free and fast home loan. By Sunoco. Fill up with top-tier certified Sunoco Ultratech today. By Skechers. Skechers, comfort included. And by Toyota. For the latest Toyota racing information, visit toyotaracing.com.
36 race teams are ready to go. 400 laps, 210 miles. Martinsville Speedway for race number 9 of 36, the NOCO 400. The final race of the short track swing. 75 degrees, overcast skies. Welcome aboard to Motor Racing Network's live coverage. Jeff Striegel alongside Alex Hayden and championship winning crew chief Todd Gordon. Well, I heard Mike say it, the half mile of mayhem, and I have a feeling we may be in store for exactly that today.
I believe you're right about that. It's the short track swing here, the early part of the schedule. And Martinsville Speedway, Todd, is one of those tracks that you either love it, you hate it, or you fall somewhere in between depending on the particular race weekend.
Yeah, I would think it's either love it or hate it to start with. It may change as you sort these things out, but a great place of just short track racing. This is where these guys really get to lean on each other. The composite bodies will show themselves up for a great show today.
Well, this is the third race of the short track swing with Christopher Bell and Kyle Larson getting the previous two. Who's going to win here this afternoon? Why don't we go ahead and take it downstairs and get this party started?
And now, race fans, here to say the most famous words in motorsports. Please welcome singer, songwriter, and Capital Nashville recording artist, Kaylee Hammock.
Drivers, start your engines.
Okay, not bad.
One by one, they come to life, 36 in all. Coming up, it is the NOCO 400, the Martinsville Speedway, the NASCAR Cup Series. It's live, and it's next, right here on the Motor Racing Network.
Hey racing fans, William Byron here, driver of the number 24 Liberty University Chevy. I'm excited to tell you that Liberty is giving away $60,000 in scholarships. Winners can choose from over 600 online programs of study to join me as a Liberty student. Get your future on track today. Learn more about Liberty University's $60,000 scholarship giveaway at liberty.edu/24. Again, that's liberty.edu/24.
Don't miss a moment of the NASCAR season.
Chastain drove it and never lifted. Put it against the safer barrier and all the way around the turn.
They're going to be referencing
Check out the Motor Racing Network's coverage of the NASCAR Craftsman Truck Series, the NASCAR Xfinity Series, and the NASCAR Cup Series on hundreds of local radio stations around the country. Find your local station by going to mrn.com to catch the excitement of NASCAR on the Motor Racing Network, the voice of NASCAR.
From Martinsville Speedway, this is the Motor Racing Network, the voice of NASCAR.
Hi, I'm MRN lead pit reporter Steve Post. Go behind the scenes each week with me and championship-winning crew chief Todd Gordon for MRN Crew Call.
They're really strong and going to win races soon.
We'll talk to some of the biggest names standing atop the pit box. Crew chief for William Byron on that number 24 car, Rudy Fugel, as well as break down all the exciting action from the weekend in NASCAR.
The one car with 2 wins and all the top 5s he's had. Ross and Phil have done a phenomenal job.
You can download MRN Crew Call wherever you get your podcasts.
Not getting enough of your NASCAR Live fix on Tuesdays? Well, we've got you covered. The NASCAR Live Wide Open podcast drops every Thursday and has the sport covered from all angles.
Long shots this weekend. Eric Jones, former Southern 500 winner.
From top 5 list to a weekly look at the odds, NASCAR Live Wide Open offers a fun and unique look at the sport we all love. Subscribe to NASCAR Live wherever you listen to podcasts. Get ready to put the pedal down and go wide open every Thursday.
Welcome back to Martinsville Speedway. 36 drivers getting ready to go for 400 laps here this afternoon, and just now the field now beginning to roll out onto this tight half-mile racetrack. They call it the paperclip. It is the Martinsville Speedway. Let's bring in one more voice ready to watch it all unfold and call it for you here this afternoon from Barre, Vermont, just outside of turn number 3. It is Dave Moody.
Thank you, Jeff Striegel. Good afternoon once again, everybody. Indeed, high above turn 3 here at the Martinsville Speedway, right in the middle of the fan base and the grandstands, one of the best seats we operate from all year long. The tail of the tape here at Martinsville Speedway, it is indeed a very tight half-mile racetrack, relatively long straightaways for the length of the overall layout, very tight corners, only 4 degrees of banking, not nearly enough to help ill-handling race car make it through the turns. Bottom 2 grooves here at Martinsville in the corners are concrete. The top 2 are asphalt. If you're on the asphalt, there's something seriously wrong with your race car. We'll watch it all unfold here in turn number 3 this afternoon in Martinsville.
The field makes their way onto the racetrack. The tail markers of the field are all the way back around this tight pit lane, are just now beginning to roll, so the pace car driven by Kip Childress is going to have to hang on just a bit. Kip, by the way, driving a Ford Mustang S650 to pace the field here today. There are 400 total laps in today's event before we figure out who will be down in victory lane, presented by Ruoff Mortgage. Whether you're searching for your first home or your next, Ruoff Mortgage is by your side every step of the way. Visit ruoff.com to learn how. Now, time to find out some things you need to know before the drop of the green flag from the pit lane. We'll start on the exit of pit road. Our lead pit reporter for the Motor Racing Network from Halstead, Pennsylvania, Steve Post.
Alex, the last 4 races for Todd Gilliland, all top 15 finishes. 2 of his last 3 have been top 10 finishes. Had the chance to talk to Todd earlier today, and he attributed that to about 3 things. First off, this is his 2nd trip around the horn. This new race car that we had last year, he feels way more comfortable. The second factor is crew chief Ryan Burgundy. Ryan is a brand new crew chief, no experience in any of the top tiers. He was the car chief for Michael McDowell the last 2 years. Todd told me that Ryan has got this team buttoned up and all pulling the rope in the same direction. And finally, Todd attributed a lot of the success to staying alive at the end of these races. Put yourself in a spot, chaos breaks out at the end of these races, seize the moment, and they have done that. They start this afternoon's quest from the 13th starting spot. Kim Coon.
Well, Steve, the last time the Cup Series raced at Martinsville, it was Ross Chastain making headlines with his Hail Melon move to grab a spot in the championship 4. But if the driver of the #1 Trackhouse Racing Chevy wants to steal the show today, he's got a lot of work to do. Ross qualified his car in the 34th spot at a place where track position is everything. I talked with crew chief Phil Surgeon this morning, and he said they just missed it in qualifying, both the car and the driver. He said Ross was just way too loose. They aren't overly concerned, though, because they feel like they've made the right setup choices for the race. The biggest goal is going to be not to go a lap down. So we'll keep an eye on the 1 car of Ross Chastain to see if he's able to hold off the leaders, especially in that first stage.
Thank you very much, Kim Coon. Before we go under the green flag, let's pause 10 seconds for station identification on the Motor Racing Network. Today it is the NASCAR Cup Series in action at the Martinsville Speedway. We are just about ready to go under the green flag here. It is the NOCO 400. Jeff Striegel alongside Alex Hayden and Todd Gordon. We're topside on pit road. Steve Post, Kim Kuhn out in turn 3, ready to go to work. That is Dave Moody, live coverage right here on the Motor Racing Network. Alex Hayden, 400 grueling laps. What do we expect?
I expect grueling laps to be put down because it doesn't matter if you're the race leader or not. With this tight little racetrack, the leader's going to have to work some traffic. That's just the nature of the beast here. So even though you might be out front, you're going to be in traffic at some point throughout the running of today's race. If you're further back in the running order, you got to keep your cool because you're going to get roughed up just a bit. Everybody's going to be jockeying for real estate. So keep your cool in the early going of this race and try to save your car towards the end.
Todd Gordon, as a crew chief right now, you've got that final opportunity to talk to the driver, the crew, the spotter. What do you say before you go under the green flag?
Yeah, it's 400 laps and a lot of opportunities here to make bad decisions and good ones. Let's make sure that we're making good decisions. Let's be aggressive when it works out for us, when it looks like it's a good move, but let's be cautious, take care of those fenders, make sure we've got a car to race around right stage 2 into the end.
The field continues to work under the pace and parade laps right now, working down the pit lane, making sure they have their tachometer set for pit road speed. Worth talking about, prior to putting the cars on the grid, there were some unapproved adjustments made to Joey Logano's race car by the team. They felt like they needed to make another adjustment or two in the car for today's race, but it was unapproved, so they will drop to the back of the field. He did qualify 15th, but Logano will go all the way back to 36th.
And 5 seconds after we got the command, we also got a bit of a mist that blew in here. As quick as it came in, it blew out of here. We're good to go, but we are going to be watching the radar, I think, throughout the afternoon, don't you?
I think we have to because that's just going to be what we're up against today. Some weather apps show that there's a chance of rain here in Martinsville. Some say not necessarily as big a chance as the others. So, you know, the bottom line is we have to pay attention to it because as the engines fired, we did see some mist come over the racetrack, and some of the fans in the grandstands grabbed some of the rain gear and just put it on. But as quickly as they put it on, sat there for a couple of seconds, the rain gear has been taken off, the umbrellas have been put away, and now the fans are beginning to rise to their feet as one, getting set to put the field under the green flag in the NOCO 400 here at Martinsville. The field works tightly 2 by 2 behind the pace car on the backstretch to call the start of the NOCO 400 today at Martinsville for the Motor Racing Network from Grand Rapids, Michigan. Here's Jeff Striegel.
This is race number 9 of the 2023 NASCAR Cup Series schedule, Martinsville Speedway. The NOCO 400 off 4. It is the front row of Daniel Suarez and pole sitter Ryan Preece. And the green flag is in the air.
To the green flag, we're racing at Martinsville.
36 drivers head to turn 1, led by Ryan Preece off turn 2.
Side by side to the back straightaway. Preece up by about a bumper down the back stretch and into turn 3. Suarez trying to hang with him. He better because Eric Almirola's got the left-hand door filled.
And he's trying to get up alongside Daniel Suarez. Can't do it. Lap number 1 being led by Ryan Preece. Finally, Suarez slams the door in the face of Eric Almirola.
Preece shows the way. Suarez is second, Almirola third. Side-by-side battle for the 4th spot. That's where Martin Truex Jr. to the inside on Chase Briscoe.
Tyler Reddick right there as well. As a matter of fact, Tyler Reddick sees the opportunity to pounce, and he'll do exactly that. To the inside of Chase Briscoe.
Briscoe hung out to dry in the outside lane. He'll lose another spot. That's position number 5 to Tyler Reddick. Slams the door back down into the inside lane. Slams it in the door of Kevin Harvick.
Tempers beginning to rise already in the back of the field. Justin Haley got absolutely punted up the racetrack in turn number 1. Nearly collected the wall. He lost 4 positions in the exchange. The field exits turn 2.
They've got it sorted out back toward the tail end of the field. Some action in the battle for the number 2 spot. Daniel Suarez has got it. Eric Almirola wants it.
Then you've got Truex. Then you've got Reddick. Then you've got Briscoe will follow that battle for second. Right now, Daniel Suarez has it. Eric Almirola trying to take it away.
Looking to the inside on turn number 2.
William Byron, your top 10.
Follow in the tire tracks. A little further back toward the tail end of the top 10. 9th and 10th position. Denny Hamlin, to the surprise of no one, is on the move early. He moves underneath William Byron.
Takes that 9th spot away. Byron falls in line and runs 10th. Now Todd Gilliland is 11th. He'll look in the rear view mirror and see 2 different noses of race cars.
Here they come down the back straightaway. The lead beginning to open up a bit here. Ryan Preece has acquired about a 5-car length advantage over Daniel Suarez and Eric Almirola.
That second place battle is a good one, that is for sure. Further back, Alex Hayden, they continue to pound away on one another. Kyle Larson, Buscher right there, AJ Allmendinger and Ty Gibbs.
Yeah, those drivers have really been getting aggressive, trying to get the spots they need. Justin Haley, mentioned a moment ago, got moved up the racetrack. I believe he got his revenge in turn 1 last time by. He got into the back of the Eric Jones car and turned Jones about 45 degrees towards the infield, and he still rides on his tire tracks. Todd, it's early. We're 7 laps into this race, and we're already seeing some drivers getting hacked off.
Yeah, you see that because you're stuck here in the back, and you're a half a lap down at a place we only take 21 seconds to get around here. You got to make time because you're going to be in jeopardy with the pace that Ryan Preece has got.
And by the way, that battle was for 30th. So it doesn't matter, Dave Moody, whether it's up front, tail end of the field, middle of the field. If you move me, expect to get moved back.
Absolutely right. Welcome to Martinsville, where when you give a little, you can expect to get a little back. They're 3 wide. Haley to the inside of Eric Jones. Almost caught up. Austin Cindric nearly gets the fence in turn 4.
That was a yellow waiting to happen.
3 wide on the outside.
And he was
Cindric
the one
is
that
getting
got
freight
the
trained.
unfriendly fire, and he'll lose a couple of spots. Eric Jones tries to run away. Haley was on the one that made that move 3 wide, Dave, and he's gotten away from everybody.
And the gloves are off, though, at the front of the pack. Haley gets away by about 4 car lengths over Noah Gragson. Then Eric Jones. Behind them, literally the tail end of the pack. They are fighting like it's the final lap for first place.
We'll keep an eye on that because right now at the front of the field, Ryan Preece in control. From Ross Chastain on back, Dave, this is the tail end of the field, and they're racing like it's the last lap for the win.
Harrison Burton, Ross Chastain, Joey Logano is there, Austin Cindric is there, and the problem for them is they're about the length of the front straightaway ahead of the leader. They're already worried about going a lap down.
Well, you hear some of those names like Chastain, Logano, Cindric, some of the big names with some of the biggest race teams in Team Penske, Trackhouse Racing. In practice yesterday, Ross Chastain had a good car, but when it was time to go qualifying, for whatever reason, they missed it and missed it badly. That's why he's back at the back of the field. Same with Austin Cindric. He's back there with a bad qualifying run. Logano started further up mid-pack, or qualified mid-pack, I should say, but he dropped to the back because the team made some adjustments this morning. So Todd Gordon, when you have a decent starting spot, how important is it and how tough is the decision to go ahead and change the race car for the race?
Yeah, it depends on what it is. And in this case, I think they found something that was going to be a day-ender eventually within the race. So they had to make that change. But to give up the track position, qualifying in the mid-pack and put yourself at the back, he's back here in a vulnerable position. Got to drive their way forward and make the best decisions. Leader has got him within probably a third of a lap at this point.
Because the leader, Ryan Preece, is just ripping off lap after lap, good laps. 15 down, it is Ryan leading over Daniel Suarez, Eric Almirola, Martin Truex Jr., and Tyler Reddick. That is your top 5.
What good are jumper cables when you're all alone? Roadside assistance can take hours to arrive. Don't wait for help when you can do it yourself. Safely jumpstart any vehicle in seconds with NOCO Boost Ultra Safe Lithium Jump Starters. Get back on the road faster with NOCO Boost. Available at AutoZone, Walmart, Advance Auto Parts, or online at NOCOBoost.com. Start dead batteries with NOCO Boost.
MRN Classic Races.
The race to the Daytona 500 victory at the stripe. Kevin Harvick gets it by inches.
Covering over 50 years of NASCAR racing on the Motor Racing Network.
World 600, Richard Petty, career win number 170.
This is going to be close. They lead on one another. Ricky Craven gets the win, and they continue the crash headed up into turn 1.
Craven pounds the wall. Kurt Busch right back at him.
MRN Classic Races available on your favorite podcast platform.
Ryan Preece has raced here at the Martinsville Speedway 7 times previous at the Cup Series level. He's never led a lap. He's led the first 20 so far. He led the field of the green flag, and he is driven away from Daniel Suarez and Eric Almirola. They go second and third, and then comes Martin Truex Jr. and Tyler Reddick. That is your top 5, 20 down from Martinsville Speedway. This is the Motor Racing Network, the voice of NASCAR.
From the infield garages to the race shops, NASCAR Hot Pass is your all-access ticket to the latest news from the sport.
Well, we got them down, now we put our foot on them. And that's the attitude you gotta have.
I don't think it's a move that can have any success at Martinsville. I still don't know why it worked.
Stay up to date with all of your favorite drivers all year long.
Get to the Final Four is what every driver in NASCAR's goals are.
NASCAR Hot Pass, weekday mornings from the Motor Racing Network.
Do you have an unused car, truck, motorcycle, boat, or RV taking up space? Put it to good use by donating it to the NASCAR Foundation. Proceeds help fund medical resources for children in our racing community. Your wheels can heal. Call 844-NASCAR-9 and we'll come tow away your vehicle for free. The process is quick and your gift is tax deductible. Call 844-NASCAR-9 to donate your vehicle to the NASCAR Foundation today. Your donation will help our children survive and thrive.
Now, normally we might say pick a battle. In this particular case, we're going to say pick a fight. We're watching Christopher Bell, Stenhouse, and Blaney throw haymakers at one another. You're watching another battle and another fight on the other end of the property.
Yeah, Ty Dillon has been peppering the back bumper of Joey Logano. He's done it 3 or 4 different times in about 7 laps. You know, and these are things we enjoy seeing. That's entertaining. These drivers out here beating and banging on each other. It wasn't that long ago, Todd Gordon, that you didn't want to try to mess around with the fenders of these race cars because you could cut yourself a tire down, but that's not the case.
Yeah, these composite bodies, they're much more forgiving. They'll flex, they'll come back in, they'll rub on the tire and make some smoke, but they come back, they kind of have memory of where their shape needs to come back to. That works in one piece. The other piece is the bumper on these, the actual bumper structure on these cars. It's a square tubing of aluminum, front and rear. They're pretty flat to each other. They're very durable. Guys will use the old chrome horn a little bit more with this car.
Well, Dave, I know you're watching them use up the bumper and use the chrome horn. How about the battle for 20th between Blaney, Stenhouse, Bell, and looking on right behind is Chase Elliott.
It's been an amazing battle. Ricky Stenhouse and Christopher Bell ran side by side, outside and inside, for 8 laps with nobody able to get the advantage. And with the leader beginning to loom larger in the rearview mirror, finally Ryan Blaney said, fellas, I can't wait for you guys to figure this out any longer. He rooted down to the inside, went 3 wide, passed them both down the front straightaway, and now is trying to pull away.
Blaney has picked up the most positions in the opening 28 laps of today's race. He is +8 on that statistic. Blaney in that black and gold and red Advance Auto Parts Ford Mustang has got it rolling, and more importantly, Jeff, he's got the car where it'll cut in the middle of the corner and get down the straightaway.
You know, what's interesting about that, Alex, is Team Penske, those wicked fast 3 Ford Mustangs. Blaney right now is the highest running Team Penske Ford, running in position number 20. Then you got to go way back to find Logano and Blaney. As we come across the line here, you're watching Joey
and Cindric, another Team Penske Ford. Dave, you look in the mirror if you're Austin Cindric, and the race leader is right there.
Not a happy sight. He's got one car between himself and the leader, Ryan Preece. That's the J.J. Yaley machine. Cindric's car got roughed up a little earlier. The handling is not where it needs to be, and he is in jeopardy of losing the lead lap here in the next 5 laps or so.
You know, we talked about how good we thought Ryan Preece would be in the race, Dave. We said, man, he cut a wicked fast lap. Scored his very first career pole here yesterday afternoon. Would the car maintain balance? Would it be fast in the early portion of the race? I think we've answered some of those questions, don't you?
Survey says yes, absolutely so.
This
And of
ain't
course,
Family
he's
Feud.
very comfortable here at Martinsville as well. You mentioned he's got 6 or 7 Cup Series starts here over the years. He's also got a number of starts in the NASCAR Wheel and Modified Tour, for whom Martinsville is kind of like a second home over the years. So if there was a place where you expected Ryan Preece to have a pretty good day, this might have been it.
This is the shortest points-paying racetrack that this series runs on. The smallest track is the Los Angeles Memorial Coliseum. That's right, the football stadium in downtown Los Angeles, where we've run the Busch Light Clash. Well, back when we ran the Clash earlier this year, Ryan Preece was outstanding there on that tiny little quarter-mile track. Well, you add another quarter mile to it, you got a half mile here at Martinsville, and I think that is certainly carrying over. Ryan Preece looks very good, dude, and he's led all 35 laps to this point.
Steve Post, why don't you weigh in on the conversation regarding the race leader? You talked to him in our NASCAR Live Race Day pre-race show, and you talked about his success here in the modifieds, and, well, he was having some pretty good success here behind the wheel of the number 41.
Yeah, his career first modified win was here at Martinsville Speedway, so a lot of laps. And talking with Ryan yesterday afternoon and today, they've made a lot of adjustments on this car, but boy, they certainly have dialed it into the right direction. Listening to the communication, Ryan has offered no critique of the car, which is generally a really good sign. All they've told him is 80 laps first stage, take care of your tires, don't abuse your tires. So far, so good for pole sitter and race leader Ryan Preece.
So Todd Gordon, as a crew chief, how do you get your driver to not abuse the tires when you're getting your back bumper beat on?
It's tough. It's tough. You got to just talk them through.
It's
and
no
try
easy
to work
task,
on
I
your
can
race
tell you
car
that
and
much.
make sure that you can
Of
roll the
course.
center of the corner here. If you can't roll the center of the corner, you're going to get beat on. And typically when that happens, you complain about not having forward drive, but it's because you didn't have any rolling speed in the middle of the corner. You're trying to make that up on exit.
He has led in his career, coming in here in 129 starts, 29 total laps. In his career, he's led the first 38 consecutively here this afternoon.
And he's just now put a Team Penske Ford a lap down in the form of Austin Cindric. Ty Dillon and Joey Logano are the next two cars
Cindric
to
is the
potentially
first car
fall a
a
lap
lap
down
down.
as the field continues to
You
work
need to
under the
caution
green
quickly
flag. We're down to 40 laps to go here in the
before
opening stage.
Preece gets
Will they
to
find a
Ty
home?
Dillon.
Sponsored by Geico.
and
Sarah wants a
Logano.
yard. My own little paradise. Brad, however, hates yard work.
The only thing I hate more than cutting the grass is paying someone to cut the grass.
Compromise is tough, but these two won't have to compromise when they bundle home and car insurance with Geico. It's easy, and they can save even more. In the end, Sarah and Brad found a great home with a yard. A very, very small yard.
Time to get it done. And I'm done.
Bundling without compromise at geico.com.
It's all happened on the streets of Chicago, but these streets haven't seen anything like this. NASCAR is coming to Chicago, and it's going to be one epic weekend. A NASCAR Xfinity Series race Saturday, and Cup Series race on Sunday, and live music all weekend long. You ready? NASCAR Chicago Street Race Weekend, July 1st and 2nd, 2023. Get your tickets now at NASCARChicago.com.
The street race weekend has caused a whole ton of controversy.
Ryan Preece continues to show the way here at Martinsville under the green flag. He is in some heavy traffic as he's caught the tail into the field. That is enabling second place Daniel Suarez. Third place Eric Almirola to begin to close in. We're going to have a race for the lead here coming up shortly. From Martinsville Speedway, this is the Motor Racing Network, the voice of NASCAR.
Hey racing fans, William Byron here, driver of the number 24 Liberty University Chevy. I'm excited to tell you that Liberty is giving away $60,000 in scholarships. Winners can choose from over 600 online programs of study and join me as a Liberty student. Get your future on track today. Learn more about Liberty University's $60,000 scholarship giveaway at liberty.edu/24. Again, that's liberty.edu/24.
For 3 decades, Racing Electronics has been the #1 choice for scanners, headsets, and all race communications needs. Racing Electronics provides the ultimate fan experience for the ultimate NASCAR fan. Don't forget to rent early because Racing Electronics rentals must be purchased in advance online. Hear uncensored communication from every team in the race with a scanner from Racing Electronics. Stop by and see them in the vendor area to purchase your very own. Visit racingelectronics.com for more information.
No, but I'll check.
Back at the Martinsville Speedway, 34 laps to go on the opening stage. We've been clean and green to this point. 47 laps now going up on the board. All 47 have been led by the same driver. That's Ryan Preece, the Connecticut native. Put the car on the pole yesterday and has not disappointed on the speed category here so far today.
With 33 cars on the lead lap, Dave Moody running 33rd, and somebody rapidly closing in from the rear is Joey Logano.
Anxious times for Joey Logano. He's got about a car length in hand over a fast closing Ryan Preece. You can add Ross Chastain another car length ahead. You can add Harrison Burton another car length ahead. A lot of named drivers in danger of having early problems here at Martinsville.
In the back half of the top 10, I should say around the 5th spot, Martin Truex Jr. has given up 2 positions in the last 3 laps. Chase Briscoe was able to get by him. Harvick gets by, and here comes Bubba Wallace.
Yeah, Martin Truex Jr. was kind of the log jam of that part of the racetrack, Alex. He had about 7 cars lined up behind him. You could see that he was holding him up. Chase Briscoe finally moved him over, and once they got him into the outside groove, they just took advantage.
Well, there's more coming, and that would be the bad news for Truex. He's got his teammate Denny Hamlin there. Kyle Larson next in line, William Byron, and Todd Gilliland.
Heading down into turn number 3. Gilliland has got a gap of about 5 car lengths over Alex Bowman. Then it's Kyle Busch as they head for the front chute.
As they make their way into turn number 1, here's Denny Hamlin. He'll open up the inside lane on his teammate. Truex has no fight in the race car in the middle of the corner.
He's got no grip in the rear end of that machine. The minute he gets back to the throttle, the rear end steps out on him. That's a tough condition to be in here at Martinsville.
Guys that are falling a lap down,
so we also now, Dave, turn our attention back up front. Chase Briscoe is now all over the back end of Joey Logano, and that also is allowing Daniel Suarez and Eric Almirola to close in.
Yeah, no doubt. Suarez is within a car length now. One more back to Eric Almirola, and that's a problem for Ryan Preece because those cars in front of him are not going to go quietly. They'll all be the second coming of Ryan Newman here for the next few laps.
Meaning that he's going to be awfully difficult to pass. That was one of the things Ryan Newman was known for. If his car wasn't handling the best in the world, he was one of the toughest guys on the racetrack to pass.
A bit pain in the neck
Todd,
to pass.
you perk up just a little bit when we talk about it.
Well, Joey Logano has taken that title over as Ryan's left, and he's protecting his position till the lead lap here furiously.
As we watch, and thank you, Todd, as we continue to watch Briscoe make that Ryan Preece running in front of Daniel Suarez and Eric Almirola. 54, make it 55 now laps in. Let's give you a quick look at the leaderboard, brought to you by Skechers. Skechers, the comfort and fit specialist. Try Skechers Relax Fit, Wide Fit, Stretch Fit, Arch Fit, and many more.
As the field works in traffic, Ryan Preece is the leader. Just got into the back of Joey Logano off turn 4 to try to move him up the racetrack to put him a lap down. He'll be, well, we'll call it near successful in doing that here on lap 56. They're side by side. It's Suarez second, Almirola goes third, Tyler Reddick is fourth, and Chase Briscoe fifth. Kevin Harvick is sixth, Bubba Wallace seventh, Denny Hamlin is eighth, Kyle Larson ninth, and William Byron is 10th.
And Joey Logano has gone a lap down, but he's not going to give it up without a fight. But that fight now is over, and Logano is 1 lap down, running 11th. Martin Truex Jr., Alex Bowman 12th. Todd Gilliland 13th, and a good run so far.
Down.
Kyle Busch running right behind him in 14th. Chris Buescher 15th. Ryan Blaney up to 16th and running in front of A.J. Allmendinger. Austin Dillon 18th. Brad Keselowski 19th. And Ty Gibbs is 20th.
21st is Christopher Bell. 22nd is Ricky Stenhouse Jr. 23rd is Chase Elliott. Michael McDowell goes 24th. Justin Haley 25th. Zane Smith is 26th. Corey LaJoie goes 27th. Noah Gregson is 28th. Eric Jones 29th, and Harrison Burton is 30th.
Ross Chastain right now is 31st, and he's the last car on the lead lap. And Ryan Preece is there to pin him a lap down. We'll see if he can do that here in a moment. Chastain goes 31st, one lap down. Joey Logano, Ty Dillon, Austin Cindric a lap down. 35th right now, J.J. Yaley, and Anthony Alfredo completes the running order here on lap 60. It's all Ryan Preece at the moment.
It is, and he's exercising great patience, Dave Moody, in traffic.
Ross Chastain doing everything he can to keep him in the rearview mirror, just hugging the bottom of the racetrack all the way around. The good news for Preece is while he passed Joey Logano, he was able to break away from what's turning into now a hot and heavy battle for second place.
Yeah, that's a good one. Eric Almirola is right there pounding away at Daniel Suarez. Just a few moments ago, we were talking about Truex being right up in that battle. But now he's outside of the top 10, and Steve Post can explain why.
Martin Truex Jr., just as Dave Moody talked about, the rear end wants to step out. The car is loose, specifically when he's in the rubber that is building up on the racetrack. So he's hanging on until we get a caution over the end of this stage break. Martin Truex Jr., a loose race car.
He's just got to hang on. The stage break will be at lap number 80, and we're only, 17 laps away from the end of the stage. And what could be our first caution if we don't have one beforehand, and you just got to hang on right now. That means if you're running at the tail end of the field trying to stay on the lead lap, like Ross Chastain, like a Harrison Burton, you're going to do all you can to try to stay in front of that race leader.
By the way, those stages today end at lap 80. That would be the conclusion of stage 1. We'll take you to 180, lap 180, for the conclusion of stage 2. Then it's 220 more to wrap up today's event. We've been watching Ryan Preece, Dave Moody, lap after lap after lap. You know, you wouldn't think that this driver has not led here or had a lot of success here by the way he is managing the paperclip here, the Martinsville Speedway.
Doing everything right now, but Ross Chastain is doing a pretty serviceable job of keeping him in the rearview mirror. Chastain has backed up his entry to the corner to make sure that he does not get away from that curving on the inside of the corner. He is hugging the bottom all the way around this half mile.
Ross Chastain also understands, as his team does, that with as good a car as Ryan Preece has this early in the race, they don't expect Preece to do too much as far as getting super aggressive, because they know with the car as good as his that they're not going to take that kind of chance. So that's going to help Ross Chastain just a bit in that endeavor to try to stay on, Jeff, the tail end of that lead lap.
That is because you've got the crew chief and Todd Gordon saying do not bend the fenders on that race car, right, Todd, if you can help it?
Yeah, as he's looking at it right now, he's got a buffer of the 22 car behind him back to Daniel Suarez and Eric Almirola, so he's in control of the race. Just got to wait and take the move when he can. If he gets to the point he's got pressure for Daniel Suarez, I think you'll see him be a little bit more aggressive.
We'll wait and see how that plays out. We're down to 11 laps to go in the stage this time by. Further back, here's a battle for second beginning to shape up. Eric Almirola is now going to the inside of Daniel Suarez. Jeff up off turn 4.
Here they come now, racing back to the line, and the battle will be for second, and it's a three-car battle. Daniel Suarez, Eric Almirola, and Tyler Reddick.
Almirola opened the door to the inside of Suarez. They're going to run side by side down the back chute. Tyler Reddick looking for some daylight. He wants a piece of that action. Here comes Chase Briscoe now joining the fray.
And they are going to come up off of turn number 4 on these older Goodyear tires. Some of the back ends of these race cars beginning to dance just a bit. Talking about second, third, fourth, and fifth.
Here they come off turn 2 to the back straightaway. Suarez still trapped up in that outside lane, but making a pretty good run of it. He is side by side with Tyler Reddick into turn 3.
You know, Alex, you said second through fifth. I'm going to take it all the way back to sixth, because here comes Kevin Harvick to join this party. Right now it's Eric Almirola second, but behind him they are side by side.
Down the back straightaway they come, and it's still Reddick to the inside of Suarez. Daniel Suarez finally will give up the battle, sees a little daylight, jumps down into the low lane in front of Chase Briscoe.
And he's going to run right up on the bottom of the racetrack on the exit of turn number 4. 8 laps to go, stage number 1. Up front, Ryan Preece still yet to put a lap on Ross Chastain.
He's right where he needs to be, though, with no pressure on the back bumper. He can settle in right there and be relatively happy. I'll tell you, Chastain would love for this stage to be over, and he's not alone. Also on the thoroughly unhappy list is Kyle Busch. That car is not running well at all, cannot hold the bottom of the racetrack. He's lost a handful of laps in the last 10 circuits, or a handful of spots in the last handful of circuits.
Yeah, Dave, you're exactly right. Kyle Busch right now running way back in position number 19. There's a number of drivers off to a rough start here this afternoon.
You're right about that. Laps down. Joey Logano's back there. Ross Chastain at the tail end of the field. Austin Cindric a lap down. As we get down to 6 laps to go in the stage, Kim Kuhn, what is Kyle Busch saying about that Chevrolet Camaro?
Well, Kyle Busch has not been happy since the green flag dropped. In fact, not even halfway through this run, he was already complaining that he had used up the right rear just very, very loose, and knowing this was going to be a long green flag run, that was not what this team wanted to hear. And then throughout the course of the run, just building tight in the center, he is absolutely unhappy with this car. We expect some big changes. I talked with crew chief Randall Burnett before the race, and he said there are some things we really need to be doing to get our short track package a step up, and they certainly are showing that today. Big changes coming for the number 8 car, Kyle Busch.
And that, Dave, will happen in 4 laps. The leader is headed your way.
Down the back straightaway and into turn number 3. Still following the back bumper of the Ross Chastain machine. Preece takes a peek to the inside, may get a run at him this time.
He's going to stay down at the bottom of the racetrack, but Chastain will shut the door by the time they get to turn 1. Preece will get on the back bumper one more time.
That'll probably be the toughest lap traffic pass that Ryan Preece will ever make. Ross Chastain sending a pretty clear message. I'm not giving this up without a fight.
Well, and I don't think there needs to be a fight, Dave. We're down to the final 2. There's no pressure. Ryan Preece could pretty much coast it from here.
Yeah, he's got plenty of daylight now between himself and the second place machine of Eric Almirola. If there was ever a time to call off the dogs, this would be it. And it looks like he has. He's fallen back now by a car length off Chastain.
And that's exactly what Joey Logano wanted to hear Dave Moody say, because Logano right now is the first car 1 lap down and could be the beneficiary of the free pass as the stage will end next time by.
Here comes Ryan Preece down the back straightaway now. No challenge from behind. He's got Chastain in front of him. He's got Joey Logano behind him. Neither one of them are happy, but they'll take that position.
And this will be his first ever stage win at the Cup level. Ryan Preece across the line as he sees the green and white checkered flag. Congratulations to Ryan. That is his first ever stage win. It comes over Eric Almirola, Tyler Reddick, and Daniel Suarez was 4th. Chase Briscoe across the line 5th. Caution flag is now out over the speedway. The rest of the top 10 and earning stage points. Kevin Harvick 6th, Bubba Wallace 7th, 8th, Denny Hamlin 9th, Kyle Larson, William Byron 10th, 80 laps down. Ryan Preece, Alex Hayden picking up the stage win.
He does, and that's presented by Sunoco. Sunoco puts the same focus and care that goes into the fuel at its stations that it does for the race fuel that powers the fastest racing machines around the world. Sunoco, fueling NASCAR for 20 years.
NASCAR season is here, and everyone on the Toyota racing team is doing their part to perform at the highest level. From driver Ty Gibbs to amateur musician Russell Viper, who's working on the perfect pre-race pump-up track for the team.
Start those Camrys up! Yeah!
To accomplish greater things this year, everyone plays a part. Be part of the action at toyota.com/racing. Toyota, let's go places. NASCAR is a registered trademark of National Association for Stock Car Auto Racing, Inc.
Attention Medicare beneficiaries worried about COVID-19. COVID-19 tests are now covered by Medicare Part B. That's right, Achieve DX will ship you your rapid COVID-19 tests at no cost straight to your home. These easy-to-use FDA EUA authorized tests will give you results in 15 minutes. Even if you have a Medicare Advantage plan, you can have these tests delivered to your home at no cost to you, and the shipping is free. For your free COVID-19 tests, call Achieve DX at 800-249-8212. That's 800-249-8212. Call now.
From Martinsville Speedway, this is the Motor Racing Network, the voice of NASCAR.
Hi, I'm Ryan Blaney, a third-generation race car driver, and we dedicate a lot of our time to going as fast as possible. My grandpa Lou is the reason why my dad and I started racing, and I'm really proud to follow in his tracks. But when my grandpa was diagnosed with Alzheimer's, it was a very unexpected bump in the road for us. I've learned a lot on this journey with my Grandpa Lou, and the memories of my grandpa will always be with me. It's important to notice if older family members are acting differently, experiencing problems with their memory, or having trouble with routine tasks. Talking about Alzheimer's can be really tough, but if you notice something, have a conversation with your loved one. Encourage them to see a doctor or offer to go with them. Early detection of Alzheimer's can give your family time to explore support services, make a plan for the future, and access available treatments. The Alzheimer's Association provides care, support, and research to help you take control of the situation with your family and manage the disease together. If you or your family are noticing changes, it could be Alzheimer's. Talk about seeing a doctor together. Visit alz.org/time to talk. A message from the Alzheimer's Association and the Ad Council.
We welcome you back to Martinsville Speedway. Stage number 1 is in the books. We went 80 consecutive green flag laps. Ryan Preece led all of those laps, and here under this first caution, he continues obviously to show the way. 84 laps led. Preece has had the car, but it's early.
And there are 2 drivers thankful for the end of the stage. One of them, Ross Chastain. He will stay on the lead lap. The other one, Joey Logano. He will get the free pass, and he will come back around and get onto the lead lap. Green light is on. Kim Kuhn, get ready. Here they come. You've got Ryan Preece, again, leading the first 84 laps. What a dominating performance he's had. But right behind him is Eric Almirola, Tyler Reddick, Daniel Suarez, Chase Briscoe. Here they come, Kim.
And we really are seeing the strength of the Stewart-Haas car today, including Eric Almirola, second in that stage. He said just needs a little help in the center and some drive off. They elect to make an air pressure adjustment. It is 4 fresh Goodyear tires, Sunoco fuel. He is down and away.
Like all
as
4
Ryan
tires
Blaney on pit road, just a little bit loose on that machine. Bubba Wallace completing his stuff. Kyle Busch, big changes for them on that Chevrolet as the chassis wrench goes in. Steve Post.
Loose race car for Kevin Harvick, 4 tires, Sunoco Racing Fuel chassis adjustment. Same situation for Martin Truex Jr. 4 tires, Sunoco Racing Fuel. Daniel Suarez is in, getting some adjustments. No adjustments. Ryan Preece, the first pit box pays off. Preece wins the battle off the pit road. Daniel Suarez goes out second. Eric Almirola, Tyler Reddick. Your front 4 off from pit road. Pit stops here. End of stage number 1, lap number 85.
Biggest mover on the pit stops was the pit crew for Daniel Suarez. That pit crew gained him 2 positions. He's up to the 2nd spot. All the while, Ryan Preece continues to show the way.
Here's Howie Long for Skechers hands-free slip-in footwear.
The world has gone hands-free. However, if you want to put on a pair of sneakers, you still need to bend down and help your feet in. Until now. Introducing Skechers hands-free slip-in footwear. You don't need to reach down to help your heel in. You just step into them and off you go. So what's the secret? Well, there's a special smooth comfort pillow in the heel that helps your foot slide into place. And they stay on just like a pair of laced-up sneakers.
Get hands-free slip-ins at a Skechers store, Skechers.com, or wherever stylish footwear is sold.
MRN Classic Races.
Ricky Rudd wins the Budweiser at Big Land.
Covering over 50 years of NASCAR racing on the Motor Racing Network.
Here comes Junior to the bottom. Dale Earnhardt Jr. ducks low on Stewart. They bang a bit in 3. Earnhardt is there. They bang again in 4.
Jeff Bodine is going to lead the first lap of the Busch 500. Dale Earnhardt is going to win the Daytona 500 in his 20th try. Trying to maintain that lead as he moves off turn 2.
MRN Classic Races available on your favorite podcast platform.
First pit stops have taken place of today's NOCO 400 at Martinsville, and Ryan Preece doing the job on the racetrack, the pit crew getting the job done on pit lane. Preece is the leader, Suarez up to 2nd, Eric Almirola 3rd, Tyler Reddick 4th, and Kevin Harvick is 5th. From Martinsville Speedway, this is the Motor Racing Network, the voice of NASCAR.
The racing, the big one, the camping. It's all just bigger at Talladega. And with a doubleheader on Saturday and a Cup race on Sunday, it's just going to keep getting bigger and bigger and bigger.
One thing for sure, it's always thrilling.
And as they go across the stretch, a photo finish.
NASCAR weekend at Talladega, April 22nd and 23rd. Get your tickets now at Talladega Super Speedway.
One of my favorite races all year.
NASCAR's next generation of stars drive in the NASCAR Craftsman Truck Series.
And here they come. Zane Smith now will try to advance his way to the lead.
Catch the excitement of every race right here.
NASCAR has made it official. Zane Smith is a back-to-back winner at the Daytona International Speedway in the opener.
On the Motor Racing Network, the voice of NASCAR. Motor Racing Network's coverage from Martinsville Speedway is brought to you by Geico. Switch to Geico today and see all the ways you could save.
Back at the Martinsville Speedway as we work our first caution of the NOCO 400. That's for the conclusion of stage number 1. That was won by Ryan Preece. A round of pit stops and a first pit penalty of the afternoon. And it goes to Kyle Busch and that team. They had equipment interference. Kyle Busch will drop to the tail end of the field for the restart.
Yeah, that should make them happy, especially when you're at the tail end of the field at this particular racetrack. Indication we're going to go back under the green here in just one lap. Ryan Preece, Alex Hayden getting it done on the racetrack. His crew doing the job on pit road to keep him there.
And this is the very reason why Tony Stewart and that race team, Gene Haas, said, yep, we need to put this guy in the race car. Let's see what he can do. As a short track ace from the Northeast in the NASCAR Whelen Modified Tour, the SK Modifieds, this guy is outstanding on short tracks. Sure, he can win on bigger tracks. He's won in the NASCAR Craftsman trucks like at Nashville Super Speedway, but this is the big stage in NASCAR racing, and Ryan Preece is at the front of the field.
Going to go back under the green flag on lap number 91, getting ready for a Geico restart. Switch to Geico today and see all the ways you could save. It's easy. Simply go to geico.com to get a rate quote. Get started seeing how much you could save.
Todd, getting ready for the restart. There was some aggressive racing in that opening stage. What do you expect here?
Nothing different. I think we'll see guys trying to work their way to the forward. You've got Joey Logano starting at the tail with a wave around. You've got Kyle Busch back there, Chris Buescher. Those guys are going to be in a panic to get forward.
All right, the top 3 are the same top 3 that took the green 91 laps ago. Preece, Suarez, and Eric Almirola. Stage 2, green flag out, and we're back at it again. Ryan Preece on the inside, Suarez on the outside. Right behind is Eric Almirola.
Suarez hanging tough in that outside lane. Preece gets away by half a car length off turn number 2. Daniel Suarez looking to slide it back in the low line. Does he have the real estate to do it? He does not. Here comes out Eric Almirola,
who quickly fills the hole to the inside lane of Daniel Suarez. Pulls even by the time they get to turns 1 and 2. The battle is for second.
Nose to nose for the runner-up position as Ryan Preece tries to get away. Suarez is not going to fight it for very long, I don't believe. He's already setting himself up to slide in on the back bumper of Eric Almirola. He'll do it in 3.
Suarez now back to 3rd, side by side for 4th with Kevin Harvick. He's going to pick up that spot on Tyler Reddick. That will open things up for on the inside, and here comes Denny Hamlin.
They've got Reddick coming out to dry in that outside lane. He's lost a spot now to Harvick. He's lost another one to Hamlin. Here comes Bubba Wallace. He'll go to the inside on his teammate in 3.
And will have no problem giving plenty of racing room, does Tyler Reddick, to his teammate Bubba Wallace. They remain wheel to wheel. This is the battle for position number 6.
A pair of 2311 Racing Toyotas. Bubba Wallace on the inside, Tyler Reddick on the outside. The advantage goes to Wallace, but only by a fender.
And again, this is the battle for position number 6. It happens right behind Denny Hamlin. Give the spot to Bubba Wallace. Then Tyler Reddick, but Tyler beginning to slide back through the field, Dave.
Cannot get it down into the low line until just now. Slides down across the nose of the Kyle Larson machine. Larson, in turn, has Alex Bowman behind him. Then side by side, Truex down low on Chase Briscoe.
Briscoe dances with the steering wheel in the back end of that Ford Mustang off turn 4. That keeps Martin Truex Jr. down to the bottom of the racetrack. They stay up for grabs.
Briscoe restarted in the outside lane. Hasn't been able to get out of the outside lane. He's lost a handful of spots. There's still no room at the end. Here comes Truex to the inside, followed by Brad Keselowski.
Yeah, Brad right there, ready to take advantage if he can. He wants to follow Truex through. The bottom is open. Brad is there.
Brad Keselowski puts the nose underneath the Chase Briscoe machine. Briscoe, though, gets a good pull off the top of turn 2. That's enough for him to finally slam it downstairs and get back into that low line.
Looks like the entire top 20, maybe top 20 plus, have gotten single file, at least for the moment. Justin Haley's the first to step out of line. Haley is running back in the 22nd spot. So, Todd, this restart, and restarts typically are very intense at Martinsville Speedway. Relatively calm, it seems, on that one.
Yeah, everybody's kind of sorted out single file here. When we have a caution flag, the cars rolling around here under caution pick up the rubber off the racetrack. We got to get this place rubber back up on the bottom to get that top lane where it kind of levels out with the bottom.
You know, Dave, when I take a look around the racetrack here, it looks like a 36-car roller coaster. In seat number 1, of course, is Ryan Preece. When you go all the way to the very back, seat number 35 of 36, Kyle Busch. He is making up no ground at all.
No, he has one car behind him right now. That's the J.J. Yaley machine. It's not just Kyle, because only a couple of cars ahead of him is the Joey Logano machine. Joey's had a miserable afternoon so far. Chris Buescher is right there. Chase Elliott as well.
All right, but back up front, lap 101. We're clicking them off in a hurry. Remember, the end of stage 2, lap 180. It is Ryan Preece. He has led them all afternoon. Now 102 laps complete. Preece over Eric Almirola, Daniel Suarez, Kevin Harvick to 4th, and Denny Hamlin completes the top 5.
At Progressive, we love sports and saving you money, so we bundled them together.
2 seconds left on the clock, third field goal range, and it looks like he's going to go with a 5-iron. No, wait. The quarterback is skating back on the ice. He's talking with his caddy. They're pulling the goalie. He skates off the fairway as the kicker lines up his putt. It's a breakaway. They bundled their home and auto insurance with Progressive. Touchdown savings, birdie goal.
Progressive Casualty Insurance Company, affiliates, and other insurers. Discount not available in all states or situations.
Hello there, my name is Seychelle, and what makes the Chick-fil-A chicken sandwich original to me is the punch of flavors that's unlike any other. You get the crispy tenderness of the chicken and that hint of sourness from the pickles. Ta-da!
Hey, I'm Juan, and what makes the Chick-fil-A chicken sandwich original to me is you know you're gonna get chicken that's crispy, golden, and juicy. This is the gold standard of chicken sandwiches.
Order the original Chick-fil-A chicken sandwich on the Chick-fil-A app today. Real customers paid for their testimonials.
Well, there are organizations having a very good day, and there are others not so fortunate. Right now, all Stewart-Haas Racing Ford Mustangs are running in the top 5, and 2311 has both of their cars running in the top 10, and that would be Bubba Wallace, of course, and Tyler Reddick. And if I said top 5 for Stewart-Haas Racing Fords, I meant to say top 10. Ryan Preece right now first, Eric Almirola running second, Harvick running 4th, and Chase Briscoe right now, the other 4th member of Stewart-Haas running position number 10. 107 laps are complete from Martinsville Speedway. This is the Motor Racing Network, the voice of NASCAR.
Wing Nation TV, presented by Sage Fruit, is your go-to destination for all the latest sprint car news and interviews with the stars of sprint car racing from around the country. This is Steve Post. Join Ashley Strummy and me each Friday at 12:30 p.m. Eastern Time on MAV TV. In Canada, check us out Wednesdays at 8:30 p.m. Eastern Time on Rev TV. Ashley and I talk with all the biggest names in sprint car racing every week. If you love sprint cars, make sure you join us on Wing Nation TV.
Hey, this is Mike Bagley. Join me along with the cast and crew of the Motor Racing Network every Tuesday night for NASCAR Live. Hear exclusive interviews.
Waking up, coming back to Victory Lane, doing media spot. That's kind of when it really sunk in that, hey, we accomplished something great.
The best moments from each of NASCAR's premier series.
Chastain did a video game move, drove it and never lifted.
As well as break down the upcoming race weekend and more. It's NASCAR Live every Tuesday night at 7 Eastern.
.110 down, and just a few moments ago we were talking about Kyle Busch. If this was a 36-car or 36-seat roller coaster, he was running or sitting in seat 35. He's up 2. That's about it. A long start to this one, 111 down, but there's a long way to go. Front of the field, no pressure for Ryan Preece. He's up by 2 car lengths on Eric Almirola. Eric's got 3 over Daniel Suarez.
That's surprising.
Daniel's got about 10 on Kevin Harvick. Folks, if you haven't bought a seat for a NASCAR race, you need to do so. Coming up after we leave here, we go from the smallest to the biggest, Talladega Super Speedway coming up next weekend. Motor Racing Network with live coverage. If you're not there, then it's off to Dover, Kansas, and then one of our favorite places of all.
And that is the track too tough to tame. Darlington Raceway getting set for Throwback Weekend one more time, and we're privileged to welcome back to the broadcast President of Darlington Raceway, Mr. Kerry Tharp. How you doing today, sir?
I'm doing fantastic. What a beautiful day here at Martinsville, and like you said, we're just about 28 days away for our Throwback Weekend, and really looking forward to it.
Throwback Weekend has become one of those circle things on the calendar. Everybody wants to be a part of this. The teams have embraced it fully. Race fans are embracing it. We see a lot of fans that dress period perfect as well. Doesn't matter exactly what period they represent, but there's some fans that get into it. It is truly a remarkable thing on Throwback Weekend.
Well, it really is, Alex. It's like taking a walk down memory lane, and it allows our sport to take one weekend, set it aside for a reunion, celebrate the past, present, and future of our sport. And no better way to do it than at Darlington, especially during our 75th anniversary of NASCAR.
Exactly right, which also means 75 greatest drivers in NASCAR history. We know the 50 on the 50th anniversary back in 1998. 25 more being added to that list. And I believe we're gonna meet all those drivers at the Darlington Raceway and have most of them on property, right?
We are, Alex, and it's going to be really a once-in-a-lifetime opportunity for our fans and for these guys to get together and reunite. I talked to Jeff Bodine the other day, and I don't think he's been to Darlington in a long time. He's looking forward to coming. You know, we're going to have the who's who of the sport. It's going to be really exciting, too, over the next few weeks to see who that next 25 is going to be. We've already heard some of them. But what an opportunity for our fans to see the living top 75 drivers all assembled at one place, Darlington Raceway.
We've had Randy LaJoie, Casey Kane, Tony Stewart, Mike Stefanik has been added to that list as well. Yeah, I'm like everybody else. Can't wait to find out who else is going to be in that list of the 75 greatest drivers in NASCAR history here on the 75th anniversary of our great sport, NASCAR racing. So, first question, are there any tickets available? And second question, if so, how can folks buy some tickets and come down and join us for Throwback Weekend?
Well, there are tickets available, Alex. Go to darlingtonraceway.com or call 866-459-7223. Some great ticket packages. It's a triple header weekend. It's throwback from the time you step on the property to the time you leave. So we really encourage our fans to get their tickets as soon as they can.
Veteran fans who have been to Darlington Raceway love it and come back. If you've never been to Darlington Raceway, you owe it to yourself as a race fan, not just a NASCAR fan, but a race fan, to come to the track too tough to tame. And I can almost guarantee if you've never been there and you show up one time, you'll be a customer, and you guys certainly roll out the red carpet for everybody.
Well, I appreciate that. We want our fans, once they come to our race, we want them to circle that date again. And once they leave that race on either Sunday night or Monday morning, we want them to say, wow, I had a great time. I can't wait to get back to Darlington. And once we finish that Goodyear 400 weekend, it's not going to be too long before we have the opening race of the playoffs of the Cookout Southern 500 in September. So circle the date. It's coming up on us, Mother's Day weekend, Throwback Weekend of NASCAR.
Come join us at the Darlington Raceway. Kerry, I look forward to being there at the track too tough to tame with you and your team.
Always a pleasure, and thank you for having me here today.
Absolutely. Kerry Tharp, President, Darlington Raceway, and we mean that in all sincerity. Come to Darlington, enjoy Throwback Weekend. It is a good time. And quite frankly, Jeff, I've seen you dress up in costume too.
I know, you have, but we'll leave that one alone. I'll tell you what we will do. We'll meet you, Kerry, and Winston Kelly and the entire Motor Racing Network crew over at the Raceway Grill. How's that sound?
And I look forward to seeing you all over there very, very soon.
Yeah, absolutely right. By the way, before we let you go, there's a parade coming up there too, Throwback Weekend, correct?
Absolutely. It's going to be on Saturday around 4:45, not too long after the Xfinity race. I hope you guys can join us. We got a float that's got your name on it. We got a really cool recognition that weekend with the 20th anniversary of Ricky Craven, Kurt Busch, closest finish ever. That's going to be a big part of the parade as well.
Look forward to it. Darlington Raceway coming up. Join us down there.
A float with Alex Hayden's name on it. That'll be fun. I'll be there for that, personalized. All right, we are 127 down. We are working midway through stage number 2. Top 5 unchanged. Ryan Preece, what a show he is putting on. He's led all 127. Eric Almirola, Daniel Suarez, Kevin Harvick, Alex Bowman.
This race has been domination for Ryan Preece so far.
One giant leap for mankind. I'm talking about the Xfinity 10G network. It delivers super fast internet to power a house full of devices with ultra low lag. And it's only getting faster. Now, Houston won't like me saying this, but this is bigger than the moon landing. You didn't hear it from me, though. Oh, we heard you, Neil. You did? Yeah, we hear everything, Neil.
Introducing the 10G network only from Xfinity. The future starts now. Restrictions apply. Actual speeds vary and are not guaranteed.
Ray Magliozzi here for eBay Motors. So you ordered a new air filter for your car. You try to install it, but it doesn't fit. So you take a little bit off the sides. Well, still doesn't fit? Well, you could try to sit on it. Or get it right the first time with eBay Guaranteed Fit. When you see the check, you know that part's gonna fit. Air filters, brakes, headlights, over 122 million parts. Get the right parts at the right prices. eBay Motors, let's ride. Eligible items only. Exclusions apply.
Still have 50 laps remaining in stage number 2, 270 in the event. So there's a long way to go. Ryan Preece, though, has made it look easy running out front lap after lap. We're going to step away. When we come back, we'll tell you where your favorite driver is currently stacking up on the leaderboard from Martinsville Speedway. This is the Motor Racing Network, the voice of NASCAR.
The NASCAR Foundation has great news for local nonprofit organizations. It's the first ever NASCAR Day Give-a-thon on May 19th, a national campaign to help nonprofit organizations raise funds to support their mission. By joining the NASCAR Day Give-a-thon, you'll benefit from a national marketing campaign to build visibility and drive donations for your organization, all at no cost to you. Visit NASCARDayGiveathon.org to sign up today. That's NASCARDayGiveathon.org.
For 75 years, NASCAR has been making history.
Dale Earnhardt Jr. comes back to the Daytona International Speedway, leading the pack, coming to the line. He will win the Pepsi 400.
Catch the next iconic moment as we celebrate 75 years of NASCAR all season long.
Chastain did a video game move, drove it and never lifted.
Right here on the Motor Racing Network, the voice of NASCAR.
Lap number 133, and we are under caution. Eric Jones getting into the back of Harrison Burton off to. Burton goes around, caution flag flies. Ryan Preece at the front of the field. And I would imagine pit stops will be coming up very shortly.
I would expect so, with some more adjustments on the horizon. It's never a good time for a dead battery. Safely jumpstart any vehicle in seconds with NOCO Boost Ultra Safe Lithium Jump Starters. Get back on the road faster with NOCO Boost.
I would imagine this is a huge break for a couple of drivers that, I think if we listened to the radio, they would absolutely say it, that we're awful. Joey Logano, not good. Kyle Busch, not good. Hanging on to the tail end of the lead lap with an opportunity right now to make changes. Kim Kuhn, here they come.
And Eric Almirola cutting just a tip tight, but he said it was coming to him. He felt like the car was going to get better. They're just going to make a slight air pressure adjustment, just a little tick up on that pressure for fresh Goodyear Sunoco fuel. They were lightning fast during that stop as Kyle Busch comes in to make his stop. Bubba Wallace, Ryan Blaney in saying that car is awful. The right rear completely gone. They took tires, fuel, and adjustments. Steve Post.
4 tires, Sunoco Racing fuel for Alex Bowman. The car has been really, really good. Martin Truex Jr., Kevin Harvick, both fighting a loose condition. Here's Daniel Suarez bringing his Chevy Camaro in. 4 tires, Sunoco Racing fuel. The race out from pit road. It's 3 wide, I think. Ryan Preece got him right at the line. Daniel Suarez and Eric Almirola out first. Pit stops, lap number 135. Todd Gordon, you shared with us in our production meeting, the beauty of this first pit stall is that you don't have to adhere to a speed limit because of the time. Well, I'll tell you what, Ryan Priest gassed it up and did a John Force burnout and passed 2 cars between there and the scoring line.
That's the advantage of winning on Saturday. Get you that opportunity to have that straight out, and you see the lines actually stacking up as they come back on the racetrack. Good use of that pit stall 1.
Restart coming up soon.
Coke Zero Sugar tastes so good, people will take a taste any way they can. You never know when your best friend will lunge across the table and grab for it. A stranger could suddenly swipe it, or your little brother might just ask for 1 too many sips. So no matter what you're doing or who you're with, when you're enjoying a Coke Zero Sugar, be ready to protect it from takers at all times. Because 1 sip begs the question, is this the best Coke ever? Take a taste and see.
On your ride home, catch NASCAR Today to keep up with the latest.
Just to think I'm the Daytona 500 winner, I would have never dreamed it.
Every weekday, you'll hear the top news stories in the sport.
It's just an opportunity of a lifetime for me that I had to take.
Plus insights from your favorite drivers.
Can't thank Penske enough and everybody involved for sticking with me and believing in me. I'm Chase Elliott. Listen to NASCAR Today every weekday right here on the Motor Racing Network.
From Martinsville Speedway, this is the Motor Racing Network, the voice of NASCAR.
Looking for motorsports podcasts you won't find anywhere else? Check out the Motor Racing Network's lineup of exclusive podcasts. MRN Classic Races, Junior's Journey, The Many Hats of Jack Roush, Richard Petty, Road to Royalty, 50 Years of MRN, Jeff Gordon, A Colorful Career, and The Tough Trucks of NASCAR. Find these and more MRN exclusive podcasts on podcast providers and MRN.com.
Hi, I'm MRN lead pit reporter Steve Post. Go behind the scenes each week with me and championship-winning crew chief Todd Gordon for MRN Crew Call.
They're really strong and going to win races soon.
We'll talk to some of the biggest names standing atop the pit box. Crew chief for William Byron on that number 24 car, Rudy Fugel, as well as break down all the exciting action from the weekend in NASCAR.
The one car with 2 wins and all the top 5s he's had. Ross and Phil have done a phenomenal job.
You can download MRN Crew Call wherever you get your podcasts.
Uh-oh. Oh!
Back at the Martinsville Speedway, working our second caution, and it was eventful on pit road, Jeff Striegel.
Absolutely. There are 3 drivers being busted for too fast exiting pit road. One of them, your pole sitter that's led 135 laps, Ryan Priest, busted too fast as he left his pit stall, but he's not alone. 2 other very good cars busted, Bubba Wallace being one of them, the other Martin Truex Jr., and this is not uncommon here, Todd. What did we say yesterday, that 8 or more speeding penalties here in 4 of the last 5 races? It's common, but you talk about making mistakes, this is big.
Yeah, definitely one of those, and if you look at history here, my knowledge would have told me I couldn't speed from pit stall 1 out. Couple things have changed. The tire is about 1.5 inches wider, and we softened the compound up. It may have a little more grip and a little more acceleration, which got him in a speeding situation.
Who was down there in the pit box? That's Steve Post.
Todd, you absolutely nailed it. That was specifically right. We talked on the pit stop how he got by Eric Almirola and Daniel Suarez because he gassed it up and sped it up. The speed limit is 30. They've got wiggle room to 35. NASCAR gives them a little buffer. They were 39.2 in that segment, so when he gassed it up and took off, he really took off, and that's what caused him a penalty, and that's exit out. Segment number 12, the final segment here is where Ryan Priest got busted. They, like you, were under the belief that you couldn't do it down here, but they just talked about it with Chad Johnson. Says, well, I guess we learned that you can get a speeding penalty leaving pit road from pit box 1.
Oh, you learned the hard way. That is a brutal penalty to overcome. Can Ryan Priest, Truex, and Bubba rebound? All 3 of those drivers right now letting the field go by on the back straightaway. Alex Hayden, I guess we'll find out right away. I mean, we know Ryan has a good car, Ryan Priest, so does Bubba, so does Martin. We're going to find out how good right now.
We are indeed. We've just gotten the one to go. There are some varying strategies inside the top 5 we'll diagnose here in just a moment. But that means the field is coming to the Geico Restart Zone, presented by Geico. Switch to Geico today and see all the ways you could save. It's easy. Simply go to geico.com to get a rate quote and get started seeing how much you could save.
Right now, let's pause 10 seconds for station identification on the Motor Racing Network.
We're just about green. 141 complete. 259 to go. 39 left in stage
258 laps remain. Welcome to the Martinsville Speedway, the NASCAR Cup Series, getting ready to go back under the green flag. Up front, you've got teammates in Ross Chastain and Daniel Suarez.
As they make their way into the Geico Restart Zone, green flag in the air. Ross Chastain is the leader. He is on much older tires than everybody else, and he's going to try to get away with the race lead.
Trying to manufacture himself some strategy to get out of the back of the pack where he's been mired all afternoon long. He'll have the lead down the back straightaway. The battle for second, Eric Almirola gets into the left rear on Daniel Suarez.
Well, they have been tied together for 143 laps, Dave. Eric Almirola and Daniel Suarez, that's the battle for second.
Wheel to wheel, they come off turn number 2.
Suarez 99, 10 of Almirola. Should have retired last year.
Lane. Right behind him, down low, Todd Gilliland in the 4th spot.
Todd Gilliland is a different driver on another tire strategy. They did 2 tire change on this last pit stop. So you got the leader in Chastain on old tires, Suarez and Almirola beating on one another with fresh tires. They're second and third. 4th is Todd Gilliland, Todd Gordon on 2 fresh tires as they continue to race hard for second. Here's Gilliland going to force it 3 wide down the front straightaway.
Todd Gilliland on the inside, Suarez in the middle, Eric Almirola way up high.
Suarez way too narrow for that. Not happy with each other. They got together heavy going into turn number 3. Both of them shot up the racetrack, opened the door for Gilliland. Now they're 3 wide into turn 2. Denny Hamlin and Brad Keselowski are throwing haymakers.
They are indeed. Michael McDowell got into the back of Keselowski as well. Ty Gibbs in that mix. Dave, pick a battle and pick an argument.
It's going to be a miracle if there's not a caution flag here. 3 wide on the outside as they are rooting and gouging back around 15th position. Closer to the front, Eric Almirola getting railroaded now in the outside lane.
Boy, Michael McDowell 3 wide. He moved Austin Dillon out of the way. And Dave, just a moment ago, he jacked up Ryan Blaney, and now he's shoving William Byron.
Blaney a moment ago was 3 wide coming off turn 4. That's about the worst case scenario you can come up with. Closer to the front, dive bomb move by Tyler Reddick. He bounces off the side of Kyle Larson.
And they say in racing, 8 tires grip better than 4. So Reddick dove it into turn 3, leaned on the left side of the Kyle Larson car, and they're wheel to wheel.
Here they come off turn number 2 to the inside. Larson's going to give up the spot as Reddick slides by. Right behind them, another battle for position. Denny Hamlin dives to the low lane on Alex Bowman.
As Ty Gibbs looks on, right behind Ty, you've got Brad Keselowski all the while on no brand new Goodyear Racing Eagles. Ross Chastain, Dave, doing it the hard way and actually driving away.
And doing it on old rubber, there's no question about it. He has opened up probably a 6 or 7 car length advantage now.
All right, crew chief Todd Gordon, you're going to have to explain this one, as they say in these parts. Old tires leading the race and driving away. Only a 2-tire change now up to second and beginning to drive away from 3rd place. It's got fresh tires. How's this happening?
You've got 34 other crew chiefs that are taking note of this right now. You know, Ross Chastain was sitting back there trying to stay on the lead lap. He was fending off the 41 car at the end of stage 1. Really hadn't made any headway. They flipped the racetrack here and just clean racetrack. He's actually pulled out to a 10-car length lead.
And we have 28 laps remaining in the stage. 152 down out front. Ross Chastain now leading over Todd Gilliland, Daniel Suarez, Kevin Harvick, and Chase Briscoe.
At Progressive, we love sports and saving you money, so we bundled them together.
It's 40 love here in the 3rd set.
And there's the bell. She's coming off the bench hot, looking for a quick knockdown. But wait, she's driving to the hoop. Oh, down goes the champ.
Now that's another double fault. She'll be shooting too.
The serve is up, and here comes the left hook. She's bundled her home and auto insurance with Progressive. Swish Ace Savings TKO.
Progressive Casualty Insurance Company, affiliates, and other insurers. Discount not available in all states or situations.
Scott for Scott's here. Do you hear that? Bring the mic in close. That's not how the grass should sound. There's weeds everywhere in this lawn. It's time to take action with Scott's Turf Builder Triple Action. It gets 3 jobs done at once. Kills weeds, prevents crabgrass, and feeds your lawn so it keeps growing strong. Ah, much better.
Get a bag of Scott's Triple Action today. It's guaranteed, or your money back.
Feed your lawn. Feed it.
From second all the way back through the field, we have fights on the racetrack, battles on the racetrack. Right now, Harvick going after Daniel Suarez. Right behind him, Tyler Reddick and Chase Briscoe are going at it. Further back, you've got teammates in Joey Logano and Austin Cindric. Michael McDowell has been in his share. We'll get you back to the track when we come back. 156 down. Ross Chastain out front from Martinsville Speedway. This is the Motor Racing Network, the voice of NASCAR.
Looking for motorsports coverage you can't find anywhere else? Look no further than the Motor Racing Network's lineup of weekly podcasts. NASCAR news and interviews on NASCAR Live and NASCAR Live Wide Open. NASCAR Cup Series Insight on Crew Call. NASCAR Grassroots Racing News and Talk on NASCAR Coast to Coast. And Sprint Car Talk on Wing Nation. All these and more available on podcast platforms and MRN.com.
20 to go.
For 3 decades, Racing Electronics has been the #1 choice for cellular, headsets, and all race communications needs. Racing Electronics provides the ultimate fan experience for the ultimate NASCAR fan. Don't forget to rent early because Racing Electronics rentals must be purchased in advance online. Hear uncensored communication from every team in the race with a scanner from Racing Electronics. Stop by and see them in the vendor area to purchase your very own. Visit RacingElectronics.com for more information.
Thank you, Fox Side by Side.
What a show we are watching. Now, granted, Ryan Preece dominated early, Chastain dominating now, but other than that, it has just been one bump and run after another. We are now 160 complete, 240 remaining. Let's give you a look. We promised this earlier. We'll tell you where your favorite driver stacks up, brought to you by Scott's Turf Builder. If your yard needs some life, then you need Scott's Turf Builder. You just need to put it down once now and again this summer to thicken your lawn and get it growing strong. Feed your lawn. Feed it.
As we sit right now, Ross Chastain is the race leader. Todd Gilliland is second, but not for much longer. Kevin Harvick is now going to take over the second spot. Gilliland will fall in line and ride third. Chase Briscoe being scored fourth. Denny Hamlin is fifth. Tyler Reddick sixth. Daniel Suarez, he's dropping back to seventh now. Brad Keselowski up to eighth. Eric Almirola ninth, and Kyle Larson is 10th.
Alex Bowman is 11th. He rides in front of Ty Gibbs. Christopher Bell 13th. Ricky Stenhouse Jr. 14th. AJ Allmendinger up to 15th, 16th. William Byron, we expected more out of that car. We haven't seen it yet. Byron right now 16th in front of Ryan Blaney. Justin Haley 18th. Noah Gregson 19th, and 20th is Corey LaJoie.
21st is Austin Dillon. Eric Jones goes 22nd. Kyle Busch is back in 23rd. Chase Elliott being scored 24th. Joey Logano is 25th. 26th is Ryan Preece after leading the opening 135 laps. Zane Smith being scored 27th. Bubba Wallace is 28th. Michael McDowell 29th, and Chris Buescher is 30th.
And we're going to have a battle for the lead here very shortly. Here comes Kevin Harvick up and off turn number 4. He has run down Ross Chastain. Martin Truex Jr. right now 31st. Harrison Burton 32nd. Austin Cindric 33rd. Ty Dillon, Anthony Alfredo, and J.J. Yaley complete the leaderboard with Ross Chastain leading, but he's got company now, Alex.
He does, in the form of Kevin Harvick with 14 laps to go in stage 2. The battle for the lead is on at Martinsville Speedway. Here comes Kevin Harvick to the inside of Ross Chastain.
Chastain on the older tires may not be able to put up much of a fight. Todd Gilliland also beginning to backslide, but here they come down the back straightaway into 3. They are side by side for the number 1 spot.
Harvick on the inside, no fight left for Ross Chastain, new leader Martinsville Speedway. It happens on lap 167. Kevin Harvick out front as he makes his way off 2.
And immediately begins to pull away by 1, by 2, by 3 car lengths. Chastain's got a rear view mirror now full of Chase Briscoe and Denny Hamlin.
Oh, you got that good battle for second. You've got Chastain, you've got Briscoe, Hamlin, and Tyler Reddick. But Alex Hayden, what about Kevin Harvick? This is not a Kevin Harvick track, or so the stats say.
No, you're right about that. He's got one career Cup Series win here. It was back in this month in 2011, 12 years ago. The last time Kevin Harvick led a lap in a Cup car at Martinsville Speedway, 7 years ago. And oh, by the way, the last top 5 finish he's had here at Martinsville was 5 years ago. So no, it has not been a Kevin Harvick kind of track, but it's a new day, and Kevin Harvick is at the front of the field.
And if you were with us yesterday, you may remember the crew chief, Todd Gordon, said, quote, keep an eye on the 4. I like the 4. I think he's got a legitimate shot to go to victory lane. And right now, Dave, the crew chief, well, he's right just about all of the time.
I've never known him to be wrong. And if so, he'll just change what he said a little later. But Kevin Harvick's in great shape right now. 5 car length advantage over Chase Briscoe. You know, Briscoe racing with that damaged hand, you wouldn't know it. He has been solid from start to finish so far.
Yeah, definitely. With both of those cars, Stuart Haas making a comeback here. 4 cars that have been in the top 10 most of the day. Kevin Harvick out to the lead. Ryan Preece having to work his way back through traffic. It's going to be a path for him here.
Preece, the pole sitter, led the opening 135 laps of the race. He's currently mired back in 25th after a pit road speeding penalty. Jeff, he wasn't the only one that got busted for speeding, and he's also not the only one that can't quite make his way back up the leaderboard.
Well, the other ones that were busted included J.J. Yaley, but Bubba Wallace, Truex, and Ryan Preece all sent to the tail end of the field, and man, that's a tough row to hoe, Dave. You got Ryan Preece, who has made his way around Chase Elliott, but Bubba Wallace back there, Truex making up no ground at all.
No, Truex is really struggling right now. Wallace is okay. Ryan Preece has by far made up the most ground of those 3, but as he said, he just made his way by Chase Elliott, pulls away from him, now begins to close the gap on the Kyle Busch machine in turn 3.
As they make their way up off of the corner, Denny Hamlin is another driver, Jeff, that is beginning to come alive, and that is no surprise here at the Martinsville Speedway. He has worked his way now up the leaderboard. Hamlin is up to 3rd, and his car is beginning to go in the right direction.
And he's doing it very quietly, and now the question is, can they, as a team, as an organization, as a driver, wrap up the final 225 mistake-free? And the reason we say that, Hamlin, fast, good, everywhere they go, but it's always one thing or another that knocks him out of contention to win.
It is, and that's something that he's going to have to deal with. And right now, he's trying to deal with the 2nd place car of Chase Briscoe. They're 4 car lengths off the back bumper of the race leader, Kevin Harvick. When they come back around to the line this time by 3 laps to go in stage number 2. Harvick flashes by the start-finish line. Now 2nd place Briscoe and 3rd place Hamlin are free and clear of the lap traffic.
Harvick will likely not have to deal with any more lap traffic. If so, it'll be the Anthony Alfredo machine, who's a good 15 car lengths ahead of the leader right now.
So we've got 2 to go in the stage. Kevin Harvick has the Ford Mustang out front over his teammate. And that, of course, is Chase Briscoe. Then back to the Toyota of Denny Hamlin.
Here they come off turn number 2. Kevin Harvick got him right where he wants him, down the back straightaway. No challenges from behind. No problems out the windshield. Kevin Harvick on his way.
He comes up off of turn number 4 to the line. Lap 179 is on the board. Final lap, stage number 2. Harvick looking for the stage win.
Chase Briscoe making a show of it. He's closed in within 2.5, maybe 3 car lengths, but he's going to have to do something darn spectacular in turn 3. Kevin Harvick into turn number 3.
This will be stage number career win number 39 for Kevin Harvick and his first of the season.
Hamlin,
the green and white checker flag is in the air. Lap 180 is in the books, and Kevin Harvick has picked up the stage win.
So here's a look at the top 10 who will score points in this stage, presented by Liberty University. Liberty University, where you can win one of several scholarships in the LU24 $60,000 scholarship giveaway. Go to liberty.com edu/24 for details.
So the top 10 as they come across.
What good are jumper
Fox
cables when
14,
you're all
NHL
alone?
14.
Roadside assistance
That
can
was a
take hours
great
to
game of
arrive.
the NHL
Don't
series.
wait for help when you can do it yourself. Safely jumpstart any
Doesn't have
vehicle in
Mark
seconds
Ambrose
with
on the
NOCO
cover.
Boost Ultra Safe Lithium Jump Starters. Get back on the
sports
road
gone downhill
faster
recently.
with NOCO Boost. Available at AutoZone, Walmart, Advance Auto Parts, or online at NOCOBoost.com. Start dead batteries with NOCO Boost.
The year was 1993. The NASCAR Cup Series season kicked off with the Dale and Dale show at the Daytona 500.
Dale Jarrett's got the lead. He goes to the inside. Earnhardt's not going to get him. Dale Jarrett is going to win the Daytona 500 by SDP. Earnhardt second.
The 1993 NASCAR Cup Series season. All the highs and lows. Relive them all on MRN's exclusive podcast, The 1993 Season. Available on podcast platforms and MRN.com.
Top 10 finishers when we come back, and pit road will be open from Martinsville Speedway. This is the Motor Racing Network, the voice of NASCAR.
Do you have an unused car, truck, motorcycle, boat, or RV taking up space? Put it to good use by donating it to the NASCAR Foundation. Proceeds help fund medical resources for children in our racing community. Your wheels can heal. Call 844-NASCAR-9 and we'll come tow away your vehicle for free. The process is quick and your gift is tax deductible. Call 844-NASCAR-9 to donate your vehicle to the NASCAR Foundation today. Your donation will help our children survive and thrive.
From the infield garages to the race shops, NASCAR Hot Pass is your all-access ticket to the latest news from the sport.
Well, we got them down, now we put our foot on them. And that's the attitude you gotta have.
I don't think it's a move that can have any success at Martinsville. I still don't know why it worked.
Stay up to date with all of your favorite drivers all year long.
Get to the Final Four is what every driver in NASCAR's goals are.
NASCAR Hot Pass, weekday mornings from the Motor Racing Network.
Stage 2 is complete. Kevin Harvick picking up the stage win, and again, that is his first of the season. They've been good, but that's their first stage win. He came across the line under the green and white checkered flag in front of his teammate Chase Briscoe, Denny Hamlin, Tyler Reddick, and how about Brad Keselowski across the line in 5th. The rest of the top 10 earning stage points. Ross Chastain 6th, Todd Gilliland making that two-tire stop pay off. Todd Gilliland 7th, Daniel Suarez 8th, Eric Almirola, and Kyle Larson completing the top 10.
You mentioned the two-tire pit stop for Todd Gilliland and that team. Also Ross Chastain. He last took tires on lap 85. We've gone 100 laps since then. Todd Gordon, if you're a crew chief, how impressive is that?
Yeah, it was pretty impressive. I think the piece that I took out of that, both the 38 car, Todd Gilliland, he netted +7 positions. Came on 14th, took the two tires, got himself up front, and hung on to 7th. We saw about 25 laps before they started to pay a penalty on it. We'll keep that in mind for later in the race. If we've got something short to go late, we may either stay out or the two-tire call may play.
Well, that gamble by Ross Chastain paid off as well. Up 28 spots, and now here they come to pit road. You've got Harvick, you've got Briscoe, and others. Denny Hamlin also making a stop. Kim Kuhn.
And Chase Briscoe having a great run despite a broken left finger. He said he's slipping and sliding, can't dive in the corner how he won, so Johnny Klossmeyer going to tighten him up. Chassis adjustment, 4 tires, Sunoco fuel for the driver of the number 14. He is down and away as Chase Elliott making his stop worse than yesterday. He said it's just way too stiff. Ryan Blaney on pit road, Ty Gibbs. Other cars headed your way, Steve Post.
Kevin Harvick still just a little loose. It's better, but he still wants a little bit more of those adjustments. 4 tires, minor air pressure adjustment. The race off from pit road, too close to call. Looks like it might be Chase Briscoe got it by inches over Kevin Harvick. In front 2 cars off from pit road, Ross Chastain, Denny Hamlin in front 3. Also getting pit service here this time. Daniel Suarez, his car went very, very loose at the beginning of that run. In fact, they thought they might have had a problem with the car. He was able to hang on inside the top 10, but they worked on that automobile as well. Pit stops lap 185, the end of stage number 2.
Biggest gainers on pit road were Eric Almirola and Kyle Larson. They both picked up 4 positions.
Bundling and saving with Geico is an easy choice, so you're free to ponder life's big questions, like what's the best animal in the world if not humans? I'd strongly consider ducks to be somewhere up there on the list. Think about it. Ducks can swim, ducks can fly, and ducks can walk on land. They have access to all terrains. They are the ultimate animal. And they wiggle their butts when they walk, which is funny. Yeah, ducks are awesome. End of story. Bundling and saving with Geico. It's an easy choice.
The NASCAR Foundation has got great news for local nonprofit organizations. It's the first ever NASCAR Day Give-a-thon on May 19th, a national campaign to help nonprofit organizations raise funds to support their mission. By joining the NASCAR Day Give-a-thon, you'll benefit from a national marketing campaign to build visibility and drive donations for your organization, all at no cost to you. And there will be special incentives and prizes along the way to help maximize your efforts. Visit NASCARDayGiveathon.org to sign up today. That's NASCARDayGiveathon.org.
From Martinsville Speedway, this is the Motor Racing Network, the voice of NASCAR.
On Thursdays, NASCAR Live goes wide open. This podcast has you covered with interviews from the biggest newsmakers in the sport.
My job is to ultimately drive fast.
It's a track that can jump out and bite you, but I feel like it's my type of racetrack.
We also hear behind-the-scenes stories on some of your favorite drivers that you won't hear anywhere else.
There's a picnic table laying up in the field. Me and Joey both looked at each other and said, we should ride this thing down the hill.
New episodes drop every Thursday. Subscribe to NASCAR Live wherever you listen to podcasts.
Hi, I'm MRN lead pit reporter Steve Post. Go behind the scenes each week with me and championship-winning crew chief Todd Gordon for MRN Crew Call.
They're really strong and going to win races soon.
We'll talk to some of the biggest names standing atop the pit box. Crew chief for William Byron on that number 24 car, Rudy Fugel, as well as break down all the exciting action from the weekend in NASCAR.
The one car with 2 wins and all the top 5s he's had. Ross and Phil have done a phenomenal job.
You can download MRN Crew Call wherever you get your podcasts.
Harrison Burton, the beneficiary of the free pass on this, our third caution flag of the NOCO 400. So Harrison Burton will be scored the last car on the lead lap. That means 32 drivers are currently on the lead lap.
You know what's interesting, Alex? Take a look at stage 1 and stage 2. First and second of stage 1, first and second of stage 2. One organization.
Stewart Haas Racing. Stage 1 ended with Ryan Preece and Eric Almirola first and second. Here in Stage 2, Kevin Harvick and Chase Briscoe first and second. So all 4 of those cars have been able to get up towards the front of the field and have been there for the better part of the day until Ryan Preece got the speeding penalty a little early on. That's put him back in the field, and he's got a good enough race car, and he's going to have to really exercise some patience now.
Right now, he is running in position number 20, so he is climbing the leaderboard. That is something, Dave, that you just got to be patient with. You get drilled with a penalty, you're sent to the tail, you're thinking, my goodness, man, I got a great race car. But if you're going to do it and do it right here, you're just going to have to be patient and pick them off when you can.
Especially in this new era of NASCAR, Jeff, when the gap between first and last is so much smaller than it used to be. You know, back in the old days here at Martinsville, even into the 80s and 90s, the difference between the first place car and the last place car would be 2.5 or 3 seconds per lap. Now it's barely 2.5 or 3/10 of a second per lap. So when you get mired back there in the weeds, as they say, it's tough to fight your way out.
So we'll see how this next restart will play out here in a matter of moments as we come down to the line. Chief starter on top of the flag stand, Greg Harris, will give us the 1 to go signal.
1 to go
and we'll go to the choose now. Race
restart.
leader Chase Briscoe will choose the inside lane. Second
Choose
place,
time.
Kevin Harvick. He'll choose the inside lane. Third place, Brad Keselowski will opt to say, all right, I'll go to the outside of the front row.
For the first 6 cars, 4 of them opting for the inside lane, and Daniel Suarez says, thank you very much. I'll drive all the way up to the outside of row number 3. Now, can you hold that by restarting on the outside? That will be the question. Getting ready to go back into the green flag, 2:08 remaining. We've got a Geico restart coming up. Switch to Geico today to see all the ways you can save.
Geico restart
it's
upcoming.
easy. Simply go to geico.com to get a rate quote and get started seeing how much you could save. Lights out on the pace car, getting ready to go. You got Fords up front, 4 of them
coming
in all
up, lap
before you get back to a
192,
Toyota
208 to go.
Back in row 3, and that's
Exclamation
Hamlin
point.
and
Restart.
Suarez,
Green
respectively.
flag is out.
Green
Stage
flag
3
is back
underway.
in the air. Chase Briscoe with a great restart. Not so much for the outside of the front row and Brad Keselowski.
Briscoe is free and clear with the lead by the time they hit turn 1. He's going to bring Harvick with him through that low groove. Kevin Harvick on the inside goes to second. Keselowski trying to slam the door on Denny Hamlin. Can't get it done in 3.
Boy, Denny just drove it in there hard going into turn number 3. Brad, no choice but to give it up, and they're going side by side now. Position number 3 behind a couple of Ford Mustangs.
Hamlin gets a good rotation through the middle of turns 1 and 2.
Let's see how this third stage turns out.
Keselowski now back in line in 4th. 5th belongs to Eric Almirola, then Kyle Larson.
Larson in 6th. 7th is going to change hands. Tyler Reddick will go to the inside of Daniel Suarez. Suarez not done trying to defend his position because here comes Todd Gilliland.
Suarez has got nowhere to go in that outside lane. He's fighting the best he can. Here comes Gilliland now underneath him down the back straightaway. They are all lined up to the left elbow of Daniel Suarez in turn 3.
So Daniel Suarez, remember, started the outside of row 3, position number 6, and that's why we always talk about it, Alex, is the fact that when you go to the outside, you are gambling. You've got to try to find a hole, find it quick, get to the bottom, and not so fast for Suarez.
No, he's given up 3 spots since that outside third row restarting position. He has now found a spot in line back in the 9th spot with Ross Chastain behind him, trying to hang on to the 10th spot. He's got company.
All kinds of company, inside and out as they exit the second turn onto the back straightaway. Alex Bowman is right there. He's got the bottom of the racetrack. Eric Jones is in the neighborhood. Christopher Bell to the outside of Bowman.
And how about Corey LaJoie? He is right there as well. In fact, Corey wants a spot on Ryan Blaney. Blaney will slam the door as Blaney right behind that side-by-side battle.
Corey LaJoie flexing a little muscle back there. He's got A.J. Allmendinger at his back bumper. Challenge a little closer to the front. Ross Chastain under pressure from Christopher Bell. Bell in turn gets the heave-ho from Bowman.
He does. Not once, not twice, but 3 times. Alex Bowman hit the back bumper of Christopher Bell. Did not waver Bell whatsoever.
It's a freight train type of deal, Alex. It looks a little bit like
Took the words right out of my mouth there.
Weeks ago. One guy gets into the guy in front of him, pushes that guy into the guy in front of him. 5 cars further up, somebody gets their motors loosened up.
All right, let's give you a quick look at the top 10 because it's different now than what we've been talking about all afternoon with Chase Briscoe out front, Kevin Harvick and Denny Hamlin. Those top 3, nose to tail, they have pulled away from 4th place running Brad Keselowski, who's got 2 car lengths over Eric Almirola, 1 back to Kyle Larson, 1 more back to Tyler Reddick. Todd Gilliland, what a day. He continues to run in the top 10, and he's actually looking for more. He's 8th, then teammates Daniel Suarez and Ross Chastain.
Great racing here at Martinsville Speedway and aggressive racing here from what we've seen. We're down to 200 to go. 200 in the books. 200
Chase
to go.
Elliott
Cross
now
flags are
running
in the air in the NOCO 400, and it's Chase Briscoe up front. He's the 3rd different Stewart-Haas Racing Ford Mustang to show the way so far in today's race.
Todd Gilliland halfway now, just past. It would appear as though Hamlin content to ride. I don't know that we've seen everything that Hamlin is capable of doing. You've got some others back there that have been climbing the leaderboard. How soon or do you hold your driver back? In other words, if you are holding them back, how soon do you cut them loose? And, you know, on a racetrack like this, are you even able to hold your driver back?
I don't think you can unless you're sitting there. Maybe Kevin Harvick or Denny Hamlin. They're both able to wrap the curb right around the corner there, chasing the 14 of Chase Briscoe, who's leaving a little bit of a lane. Maybe you're telling him just be patient, see when it opens up. But if you're anywhere 10th on back, you've got to take every opportunity you can to get forward. We don't have enough laps left to be patient.
No, as the sun tries to peek back out again in turns 1 and 2. Lap 204, Steve Post, has just gone up on the board. Ford Mustangs have led every lap with the exception of 31 so far today, and that is significant because it's a big week for the Ford Mustang.
Yes, it is, Alex. April 17th, which is tomorrow's date. 1964,
the first Mustang rolls out of the plants up in Dearborn, Michigan, and it is an iconic race car that tomorrow will be 59 years old. Within the range, within the camp there at Ford, tomorrow is known as Mustang Day. It kicks off Mustang Week,
Day?
And they would like to start the celebration
I had no idea there was such a thing as Mustang
here at
Day. Just saying.
With a Mustang win, the Stewart Haas crew, Brad Keselowski's team, Roush Fenway Keselowski, all up in the top 5. They're hoping to give the Blue Oval Mustang a good send-off into Mustang Day and into Mustang Week.
There are 5 of them right now running in the top 10. Briscoe, Harvick, Keselowski, 4th. Also in a Ford Mustang, and what a day it has been for Todd Gilliland. He is running in position number 8, also driving a Ford Mustang. The highest running Toyota, Denny Hamlin. The highest running Chevrolet, Kyle Larson. Hamlin running 3rd, Larson running 6th. Larson is also the only Hendrick Motorsport Chevrolet Camaro to be running in the top 10. Bowman right now running back in 12th. Chase Elliott has not been a factor as he returns to the seat of the car. What do you make of that, Alex? Because I think William Byron has not even been a factor at all, but yet yesterday we thought he was going to be the driver that would just dominate this event. He hasn't even shown up in the top 15. This is a track that they always run so well at.
They, as in Hendrick Motorsports. Hendrick Motorsports has scored its first of 294 Cup Series wins. They did it right here at Martinsville Speedway in April of 1984 with Jeff Bodine behind the wheel. And they've also won 3 of the last 5 here with 3 different drivers when you go back here in the last couple of years. Also for Hendrick Motorsports at Martinsville Speedway, their 27 team wins at Martinsville are the most ever by any race team at a racetrack in NASCAR Cup Series history.
And this is a track of late that has been dominated by Hendrick or Joe Gibbs Racing. And right now, Joe Gibbs Racing with only 1 of their Toyotas in the top 10. That's Denny Hamlin, who is running 3rd. All right, Dave, what are we missing out there? We're past halfway now, 211
this
in,
T-Mobile ad again?
189 remaining. I think we've got it. The Fords of Stewart Haas are fast. But what else might we be missing at this point?
A rare moment of relative calm on the racetrack right now, Jeff. There's no question about that. I've been spending a little time watching Ryan Preece try and battle his way back from the rear of the field after that pit road speeding penalty. In the last couple of laps, he has bypassed the Kyle Busch machine. Kyle just not having any fun this afternoon. He's bypassed the Bubba Wallace car. Bubba also got sent to the rear for a pit road speeding penalty. Ryan Preece has still got a pretty good horse underneath him. If he can regain that lost track position, he's closing in on Chase Elliott.
Chase Elliott is 20th, Ryan Preece 21st, and then Kyle Busch still back there in 22nd. Remember, Kyle Busch, they had an equipment interference penalty on the first pit stop of the race, and they simply haven't been able to climb the leaderboard much either. William Byron, he is back in the 18th spot, Jeff. We talked here in the last few minutes about Hendrick Motorsports, their domination at Martinsville Speedway. But today, at least, through the first 214 laps, we haven't seen it.
Steve Post, what is going on with William Byron, the car that was wicked fast individual lap yesterday, was on top of the leaderboard on 5, 10, and 15 lap runs. I thought, all of us thought, this would be the car to beat, but it's not the case so far.
So did they, Jeff. I talked to Rudy Fugle this morning. He felt so good about his race car, but it is a typical Martinsville complaint that William Byron has. Tight in the center, loose up in the corner. They've thrown a lot of things on it on the pit stops, and they've really never been able to get that car so William Byron can rock it up off from the corner. If you can't come off the corner here at Martinsville, you're in trouble. And right now, they have not been able to get that car to rotate and roll up off in the corners here this afternoon.
Jeff mentioned a moment ago, Kyle Larson is the highest running Hendrick Motorsports Chevrolet. As a matter of fact, he's the highest running Chevrolet period at the moment. He is being scored in the number 6 spot. I know Kim Kuhn, he's down there in your pit section. What types of things are they saying about their race car throughout today's race?
No major complaints from Kyle, just drive off, just something we hear everybody talk about in Martinsville. So not a lot of clamor from the 5 team, but on the flip side, I'm also covering Chase Elliott, and there was a big to-do about his return after being out for 6 weeks with a leg injury. Well, no complaints about the leg. It's not the leg they have to worry about, it's the car they have to worry about. Chase kind of messed up in qualifying and qualified deep in
exactly right. Right now, Kyle running 6th. That's Larson, and his teammate Chase Elliott is 20th. The top 3 have pulled away from 4th place running Eric Almirola by a straightaway, but that doesn't tell the whole story. I think the rest of the story is the fact that the top 3 have run down the tail end of the field.
And are going to have to negotiate lap traffic. J.J. Yaley, he'll pull to the outside and let the leaders go by to his left elbow. Anthony Alfredo next up on the hit list as the lead trio makes their way onto the backstretch.
Alfredo gave some room to the inside as they went through turns 1 and 2. He'll do the same here in 3 and 4. Chase Briscoe moves underneath him.
So the top 3, nose to tail, coming off of turn number 4. And again, that's Briscoe, Harvick, and Hamlin. You got to believe that Briscoe feels comfortable because he's got his teammate right behind. And I would think that Harvick would feel comfortable because Hamlin certainly has been close to the back bumper of Kevin Harvick, but he basically hasn't gotten into him. 177 remain. I remember Todd Gordon, Alex Hayden, talking about how you might split the final stage and those 220 lap run.
110 and 110.
So
here.
what do we
Try to split the
anticipate
stage
here,
in
Mr.
half.
Crew Chief Todd Gordon? This is a final long run to the checkered flag, and this has been a trend of a race where we've seen long green flag runs today. What would you do strategy-wise?
Yeah, looking at this, we haven't seen a lot of fall off in lap time like we would have, I think we would have expected here. As you look at this race, we've had Brad Keselowski here out in 2 tires, still running in 5th place here. We saw Rouse Chastain stay out on old tires. I think these guys, it's a 2-lap penalty to come to pit road because pit road is so long compared to the length of this racetrack. I think you're going to go almost your fuel window. Will probably put us somewhere 60 to 70 to go. I would think that before we'll see the stop cycles.
So what does Steve Post and Kim Kuhn think? We'll find out coming up shortly. Top 3,
gotta do
nose
110
to tail.
and 110.
It's Briscoe, Harvick, and
This
Denny
final
Hamlin.
stage. Split it in half.
Sir, are you aware you were going 40 miles an hour? This is a residential area.
Sure, but I'm on my lawnmower? Wait, am I getting a ticket?
No, I've just never seen anyone top 9 miles an hour on one of those bad boys. And mow their entire lawn in 30 seconds? What got into you?
Well, it did fuel up at Sunoco this morning.
At Sunoco, we know how to fuel peak performance. We've been doing it for American racing for over 50 years. Fuel your best.
The year was 1993. The NASCAR Cup Series season kicked off with the Dale and Dale show at the Daytona 500.
Dale Jarrett's got the lead. He goes to the inside. Earnhardt's not going to get him. Dale Jarrett is going to win the Daytona 500 by SDP. Earnhardt second.
The 1993 NASCAR Cup Series season. All the highs and lows. Relive them all on MRN's exclusive podcast, The 1993 Season. Available on podcast platforms and MRN.com.
Briscoe, Harvick, Hamlin, Eric Almirola, Brad Keselowski. That is your top 5, 230 down. 170 remains from Martinsville Speedway. This is the Motor Racing Network, the voice of NASCAR.
Hey, this is Mike Bagley. Join me along with the cast and crew of the Motor Racing Network every Tuesday night for NASCAR Live. Hear exclusive interviews.
Waking up, coming back to Victory Lane, doing media spot. That's kind of when it really sunk in that, hey, we accomplished something great.
The best moments from each of NASCAR's premier series.
Chastain did a video game move, drove it and never lifted.
As well as break down the upcoming race weekend and more. It's NASCAR Live every Tuesday night at 7 Eastern.
Attention Medicare beneficiaries worried about COVID-19. COVID-19 tests are now covered by Medicare Part B. That's right, Achieve DX will ship you your rapid COVID-19 tests at no cost straight to your home. These easy-to-use FDA EUA authorized tests will give you results in 15 minutes. Even if you have a Medicare Advantage plan, you can have these tests delivered to your home at no cost to you, and the shipping is free. For your free COVID-19 tests, call Achieve DX at 800-249-8212. That's 800-249-8212. Call now.
When you're running laps at 22 seconds, it does not take long to wind this race down. We are now just 165 away.
165 to go.
With 235 laps complete.
complete.
Top 10, Chase Briscoe, has his teammate Kevin Harvick in the trunk. Denny Hamlin right behind him. Long way back, but quick is Eric Almirola 4th. The rest of the top 10, Brad Keselowski 5th. Then Kyle Larson, Tyler Reddick, Todd Gilliland running 8th. Daniel Suarez 9th. His teammate Ross Chastain is 10th. And again, 164 remain now.
As they continue to race under the green flag, our longest green flag stretch was 80 laps, and that's because that was the end of the stage earlier in the race. Stage number 1, as a matter of fact. We're at the middle of a 47 lap and counting green flag run as we head towards lap number 400 in the NOCO 400. It's been Ryan Preece from the pole position, led the opening 135 laps. Since then, Chase Briscoe has now led 52 laps. Ross Chastain took his turn at the top. He led 31 laps. Kevin Harvick also took his turn at the leaderboard. He now has 19 laps to his credit as a lap leader.
And Martin Truex Jr. has just gone a lap down. Briscoe by, Hamlin by, his teammate Denny Hamlin by. 162 to go. Next time by. We promised it. Let's do it right now. A trip down pit road to talk about what you and Todd were talking about. How you make a pit stop if this race stays green. Fuel mileage. And where you split to get some brand new tires. Let's start with Steve Post down in the turn 1 and turn 2 area.
Well, Jeff, when we talk about the tires, the Goodyear Racing Eagles, there's no issues with the tires, no issues on the fall off. I think they will take new tires, but no issue on the tire count as well. They have 3 sets of brand new sticker tires remaining. So tires and a shortage of tires are a challenge with the tire count. It's not an issue. This is more about fuel mileage and speed and track position. And Kim, when we look back at this 400 lap race last year, that might be our best example. What did they do in that race last year to get the winning strategy?
Yeah, Steve, I talked with a number of crew chiefs this morning, and they said our notebooks aren't deep in terms of a 400 lap race in Martinsville, and that's because they only have last year's spring race to
they
go
only have
off
the
of.
last
Said,
spring
yes,
race
to
go off of
for
for 400 laps.
As much
Just
as possible
reduces
for
race
that
date
last stage if it goes green,
for 400
and it will
laps is
likely
at the
look
usual
identical,
500.
Steve, like you mentioned, to what we saw
Fox wanted
last
this
year. So we
race
saw green
to
flag
end
pit cycle
before
start
10 o'clock
at lap
noon last year.
291, and then the last green flag stop at 308.
Yeah, that didn't work.
Where was the winning car, William Byron? Well, he pitted on lap 304. So if the crew chiefs I've talked to are right, look for stops to start in about the next 50 laps here at Martinsville Speedway.
Which, at this pace, at 21 seconds around this racetrack, is not going to be all that much further away. So these drivers need to do all they can right now to at least maintain their track position. 157 laps to go. Let's take a look at the leaderboard, brought to you by Skechers. Skechers, the comfort and fit specialist. Try Skechers Relaxed Fit, Wide Fit, Stretch Fit, Arch Fit, and many more.
I gave you the top 10 just a couple of moments ago, so we'll rip through that because it has not changed. Briscoe, Harvick, Hamlin, Eric Almirola, Brad Keselowski, top 5. Kyle Larson in front of Tyler Reddick. They go 6-7. Todd Gilliland, 8. Teammates Daniel Suarez and Ross Chastain, 9-10.
And running in the 11th spot is Christopher Bell. Alex Bowman is 12th. Ryan Blaney 13th. Ty Gibbs is 14th. AJ Allmendinger goes 15th. Corey LaJoie is 16th. Ricky Stenhouse Jr. 17th. William Byron is 18th. Justin Haley 19th. And Chase Elliott is 20th.
Ryan Preece, who led the first 135 laps before he got busted for speeding on pit road, sent to the tail. He's back up to 21st, but he's got a long way to go and a short time to get there. Bubba Wallace also busted for speeding. He's up to 22nd. Logano just had a long day, period. He's 23rd. Chris Buescher, 24th. Kyle Busch, 25th. 26th is Eric Jones, 27th. Austin Dillon, 28th. And the last car on the lead lap is Michael McDowell. 1 lap down, Noah Gragson. And Martin Truex Jr. is 30th.
Challenge change for the second spot. Denny Hamlin drove up underneath Kevin Harvick, took it away, and now he's trying to run down the race leader. Dave, not so sure Denny Hamlin doesn't have the best car.
Denny Hamlin's got a really good car, which is not unusual here at Martinsville Speedway. He's a couple of car lengths behind Chase Briscoe, 2 more back to the Kevin Harvick machine. And I'll tell you what, if Denny Hamlin is not the fastest guy on the racetrack, Eric Almirola, the 4th place driver, almost certainly is.
Well, last lap, Dave. Denny Hamlin, the quickest car on the racetrack, and he is right there now. Chase Briscoe has led a long time, Alex, 64 laps, but there is a new sheriff in town by the name of Denny Hamlin.
And he is now right on the back bumper of the race leader, Chase Briscoe. Here comes Hamlin off the backstretch.
Briscoe trying to deal with the soon-to-be lapped automobile of Noah Gragson. He's got trouble in front of him doing that. He's got trouble behind him in the person of Denny Hamlin.
So we're going to watch this battle for the lead. Briscoe's got it. Hamlin wants it. Noah Gragson dead ahead.
Briscoe,
Noah will
Hamlin,
move up the
Harvick.
racetrack, and here come the leaders.
Gragson gives way. Here comes Briscoe underneath him. Denny Hamlin looking even a little bit lower on the back straightaway. Doesn't have the real estate to make the pass into turn 3.
Noah Gragson stays to the right elbow of the race leader. That's Chase Briscoe. Now Briscoe clears Gragson on exit of turn 4. Denny Hamlin will do the same by the time they get to turn 1 and the battle for the lead resumes.
Harvick just another car length further back in third, and the man looming larger now is Eric Almirola. He's come from almost half a track behind. He's only 5 car lengths behind Kevin Harvick.
And Dave is so smart, and the reason we say that, because during the break you said, I think the fastest car here right now, Alex, is Eric Almirola. And between Denny and Eric, they have been swapping fast laps. Eric has been the fastest car on the racetrack the last couple, but Denny Hamlin, Alex, is the man on the move.
And he's going to change lanes in turn number 3 and go to the outside. He'll cut the car back to the bottom on exit of turn 4. A different maneuver, and Denny Hamlin's going to try to make it pay off. Side by side for the race lead.
Hamlin diamonded the corner, going high in turn 3, then diving low in 4. He's side by side now. Hamlin down low. Briscoe up high. That's the battle for the lead at Martinsville.
156 laps, make it 146 as they come off 4 at the line. It's still Chase Briscoe, but Denny Hamlin is there.
Briscoe's not going to go without a fight as he tries to rim ride that outside lane, trying to squeeze Hamlin down, keep him from getting back to the throttle. So far, it's working. It's still Briscoe by a nose, but he bobbles going into 3.
But he gets right back on the accelerator, does Chase Briscoe, and he'll pull Denny Hamlin by almost a half car length. Briscoe not giving up the fight, running strong in the outside lane.
A tremendous battle for the number 1 spot, and lap traffic is looming ahead as they make their way down the back straightaway. It's still Hamlin down low. Briscoe up high as they begin to close in on the left car. Michael McDowell.
Neither driver willing to give an inch. It'll be Briscoe at the line, but Hamlin still working downstairs, side by side. They race back off turn number 2.
I would have to move the 14 if I'm Hamlin.
In that outside lane, a little bit of fender rub on each other as they come off turn number 2. Hamlin this time by a wheel.
But here comes Chase Briscoe again. However, Briscoe has the back end bobble off of turn number 4. Denny Hamlin leads this lap. Hamlin by a nose goes back to turn 1.
Briscoe, though, coming back at him in that outside lane, maybe hoping to use the lap traffic as a pick if they get there, but it's not going to work. He bobbles again off 2. That allows Denny Hamlin to get away. Here comes Harvick for second.
So Denny Hamlin is going to be the new race leader here on lap 258 with 142 remaining. Toyota out front with 4 Ford Mustangs lining up right behind.
Chase Briscoe, a car length back, is second. He's got a trunk full of Kevin Harvick, who rides third, and now it's only 3 car lengths back to a rapidly closing Eric Almirola.
Almirola and that black, gold, and white Smithfield Ford Mustang is in clean air, and he is running down his teammates Kevin Harvick and Chase Briscoe.
Harvick wants the number 2 spot from Briscoe, and he better get it done in a hurry or he's going to have to deal with Almirola. Hamlin is pulled away by 2 or 3 car lengths. Up the track goes Briscoe. The barn door is wide open for Kevin Harvick.
Well, you got teammates right there working together. I don't think anybody's going to rough anybody up with Briscoe, Harvick, and Eric Almirola. They go 2nd, 3rd, and 4th trying to run down Denny Hamlin, who leads here on lap number 260.
Will they find a home? Sponsored by Geico. Susan has always wanted to live in a chateau.
I like a certain je ne sais quoi.
While Jake is more into the Cape Cod style home.
It's a classic look.
Compromise is tough, but these two won't have to compromise when they bundle home and car insurance with Geico. It's easy, and they can save even more. In the end, Susan and Jake found a Cape Cod style home where they will only speak French.
Bonjour, je t'aime, merci beaucoup, and cordon bleu.
You'll get better with time.
Bundling without compromise at geico.com.
The roar of our engines, the pump of our heartbeats, the pedal to our metal, the sparks that ignite us, the pistons that push us, the passions that drive us. From the feelings that move us to the places that pull us on the roads that unite us. With nearly 6,000 stores and over 17,000 auto care centers, Napa has America's largest network of parts and care, here to keep you firing on all cylinders.
It is fun to watch. We focus so often at the race leader like Denny Hamlin, Harvick, and Briscoe, but right behind there, Ryan Preece. Now this is a battle outside of the top 15, and it's physical.
It is. It's Chris Buescher, it's Bubba Wallace, Ryan Preece,
Wallace,
Joey Logano, Corey LaJoie. Those drivers all trying to stay on the tail end of the lead lap. Denny Hamlin, race leader now, within about 10 car lengths of that group of race cars.
Austin Dillon now a lap down. Eric Jones about to go a lap down, and Kyle Busch next in line, and we still have 1:35 remaining. From Martinsville Speedway, this is the Motor Racing Network, the voice of NASCAR.
The NASCAR Foundation has got great news for local nonprofit organizations. It's the first ever NASCAR Day Give-a-thon on May 19th, a national campaign to help nonprofit organizations raise funds to support their mission. By joining the NASCAR Day Give-a-thon, you'll benefit from a national marketing campaign to build visibility and drive donations for your organization, all at no cost to you. And there will be special incentives and prizes along the way to help maximize your efforts. Visit NASCARDayGiveathon.org to sign up today. That's NASCARDayGiveathon.org.
Wing Nation TV, presented by Sage Fruit, is your go-to destination for all the latest sprint car news and interviews with the stars of sprint car racing from around the country. This is Steve Post. Join Ashley Stremme and me each Friday at 12:30 p.m. Eastern Time on MAV TV. In Canada, check us out Wednesdays at 8:30 p.m. Eastern Time on Rev TV. Ashley and I talk with all the biggest names in sprint car racing every week. If you love sprint cars, make sure you join us on Wing Nation TV.
68 down, 132 to go.
Bubba Wallace has just gone a lap down during our production meeting. We talked about Bubba, Todd, and Dave, Kim, Steve, Alex, and I as being one of the top 5 cars here on the property. Now a lap down, but he's not alone. Unbelievable to say. LaJoie, Corey LaJoie, who had been running top 15, he's now a lap down. He's joined back there, Alex, by these top drivers: Kyle Busch, Austin Dillon, Eric Jones, Martin Truex Jr. Do I need to go on? I mean, this has just been a long, miserable afternoon for a number of race teams.
It has, and you'll have that when you have long green flag runs. And when you can't get to pit road multiple times because of cautions to adjust on your race car, you're going to be stuck out there with what you've got, and that's just the nature of the beast from what we're seeing here at Martinsville Speedway. Only 3 caution flags today for a total of 30 laps.
Joey Logano about to go a lap down. I may have said inadvertently that Bubba Wallace was a lap down. He's not yet. He's on the tail end of the lead lap. Joey Logano about to go a lap down. Bubba next in line. And Dave, who is that in front of Bubba Wallace?
That is Ryan Preece, the early dominator of the day. Right now, he is about 7 car lengths away from going a lap down. Joey Logano in danger a lot more quickly than that.
Because Hamlin is right there with him. They may have touched here on the front straightaway. Hamlin's right front, Logano's left rear quarter as Hamlin tries to put a lap on Logano. But Jeff, what do the 2 cars just in front of the leader have in common in Preece and Wallace, and why they're back there?
Well, they both got busted for speeding, and Todd, we talked about it. You just can't make that kind of mistake here, even though they just went to the tail end of the field. It wasn't a pass through. They didn't go a lap down. They simply went to the tail end of the field, and that has spelled doom and gloom for 2 very good race teams.
Yeah, and I was surprised. As dominant as the 41 car Ryan Preece was early in the day, I thought they could have recovered from this. They did. They drove themselves forward to about 20th, 21st position, but they've kind of been hung there at this point. And that dirty air back there, it's just they're in a position where they've got 11 cars within 4 or 5 car lengths and 1 car back.
He is. That 11 car being Denny Hamlin. He's your race leader. He's now on the back bumper of the Bubba Wallace car. Not just a competitor, but Dave, that's also the car Denny Hamlin owns.
Yeah, it is indeed. I don't know if that means Denny will take it any easier on him. He's got work to do and a race to try and win here this afternoon. For the moment, Bubba Wallace is able to keep about a car length between himself and Hamlin.
The other thing that we need to note here, Alex, is not too long ago we said the top 3 running nose to tail. LaJoie way up the racetrack. Almost got the wall, did not.
That was Corey LaJoie.
Going back, top 3 running nose to tail. It's Hamlin, Harvick, and Eric Almirola.
Denny Hamlin did not look good last time through turn 3 and 4. Much better this time. But the first sign of weakness we've seen out of that Toyota in the last few laps. Denny Hamlin had a rough trip turn 3 and 4.
But again, though, Alex, to come back to not too long ago, the top 3 were running nose to tail. Not anymore. Denny Hamlin, Alex, has just flat driven away since he took the lead.
He has, and he's got himself in heavy traffic, but that has not slowed Hamlin down much. He's done a masterful job weaving his way through the tail end of the field. Kevin Harvick is second. Eric Almirola is third. They're right together, about a car length apart, second and third, but they're the better part of what? Half of a straightaway here at the paperclip from the back bumper of the race leader, Denny Hamlin.
And it's a long way back to Chase Briscoe, Brad Keselowski losing touch. Everybody's losing touch now. Tyler Reddick is losing touch. He's back in 7th. Then you've got Todd Gilliland, Daniel Suarez, and Christopher Bell. That is your top 10. We've got 280 down, 120 remain. Right now, let's pause 10 seconds for station identification on the Motor Racing Network.
Tomorrow morning's game, the Angels and the Red Sox. We have to be up super early for that.
This mid-race update is brought to you by Coca-Cola Zero Sugar. Coke Zero Sugar tastes so good, people will take a taste any way they can. So when you're enjoying a Coke Zero Sugar, be ready to protect it, because one sip begs the question, is this the best Coke ever? Take a taste and see.
4 lead changes among 5 different drivers out there. 3 cautions for 30 laps. Ryan Preece, the pole setter, has led the most laps at 135. But Jeff, right now, the big story, Denny Hamlin, the race leader. The car he owns is Bubba Wallace, who was now just put a lap down. They were wailing on one another. Bubba Wallace gave it right back to the leader, not once, but multiple times. Dave, this is not at all friendly fire.
Man, it got crazy in turn 3, Alex. Denny Hamlin gave Bubba Wallace a little bit of a giddy-up going into turn 3, moved him up the track to put him a lap down. Bubba didn't like that a whole lot. He did the same to Denny next time by, and they were just walloping each other about half the length of the front straightaway. Hamlin now has gotten away by a couple of car lengths, and he's about to put Ryan Preece a lap down.
And I was going to say that, Dave, that Bubba's got the best seat in the house to see the pole sitter and dominant car for 135 laps now go a lap down. What a story this is, Alex. The big story coming in, career pole number 1 for a Stewart-Haas racing driver and Ryan Preece. He dominated the event for 135 laps and then a mistake.
The mistake being speeding on pit road, and he had to go to the tail end of the field and has just not been able to work his way back to the front. And it almost looks too like the car just isn't there balance-wise what it was early on. Perhaps you can attribute some of that to Ryan Preece doing all he can and overdriving the car just to try to stay on the tail end of the lead lap.
Well, when he goes a lap down, and I think it's going to happen, it's not a matter of if but when, Dave, the next car in line happens to be the Napa 9.
It is indeed, and Ryan Preece has gone to the outside of Chase Elliott to keep Denny Hamlin in the rearview mirror. Ryan Blaney peels off and comes to pit road as the leaders make their way off turn 4.
Ryan Blaney is in. He makes his pit stop here on lap number 288. So perhaps we'll see if that opens the floodgates. Alex Bowman now will peel off the racetrack here under the green flag. Alex Bowman will make his stop here in just a moment. He's got to go 35 miles an hour all the way around on to turns 1 and 2 into pit lane, where Steve Post will await. As look back, Kyle Busch. Here comes Christopher Bell. Steve Post, there's pit stops beginning to take place. Alex Bowman is in.
Alex Bowman had a good run midway through this portion of the race. Got up inside the top 5, but the car just got very, very tight on him. Adjustments are going to be made. Blake Harris, the crew chief, 4 tires, Sunoco Racing Fuel. Alex Bowman, pit stops here. Lap number 289. Kim?
Pit service already underway for the Christopher Bell machine. The crew on the left side is going to be 4 tires, Sunoco Fuel. Kyle Busch also getting service on this end of pit road as Tyler Reddick makes his way down in that Toyota Camry. Just reporting way too loose on entry and exit, tight through the center. Tires go on the right side, the crew to the left, 4 tires, Sunoco Fuel, as more cars are making their way to you, Steve Post.
Inching the way down pit road, and this has got everyone's attention here as Tyler Reddick wraps up his pit service that Kim talked about. Kevin Harvick is in. Kevin said the car got tight at the end of that run. Going to be 4 tires, a minor adjustment as far as air pressure goes. Sunoco Racing Fuel going in to the Kevin Harvick car. Kim Kuhn, more cars in front of you.
Chase Briscoe in for service. He said it just got way too free. They will make a chassis adjustment as the crew to the left side to put tires on that side. The pit sign out for more cars, including Ty Gibbs making his stop. Eric Amarola already completing service on this end of pit road, as Denny Hamlin coming down right now just needs a little bit more drive off. Slight air pressure adjustment as cars headed your way, Steve.
Yeah, here's Chris Buescher, and Buescher had a penalty early on that put him behind. They're around to the right side of that car. Chassis adjustments, 4 tires, Sunoco Racing Fuel. Ryan Preece, after he went a lap down, he came down pit road. There goes A.J. Allmendinger back out on pit road. Kim?
Service for the teammates of Team Hendrick, both Chase Elliott and Kyle Larson. No visible adjustment on Kyle's car. Chase still complaining way too tight on that Napa Chevrolet, and I think their teammate William Byron was headed your way, Steve.
Yeah, William Byron in 4 tires, Sunoco Racing Fuel. The handle has gone away. We talked about this midway through the race. Here is Todd Gilliland in. Going to be 4 tires. He said the car was just a little bit free up off from the corner. Going to be an air pressure adjustment. Todd Gilliland having another top 10 run. He is down and away. Pit stops here at lap number 295.
So green flag pit stops underway. Not everybody has pitted. We'll step aside and reset when we come back.
Coke Zero Sugar tastes so good, people will take a taste any way they can. You never know when your best friend will lunge across the table and grab for it. A stranger could suddenly swipe it. Or your little brother might just ask for 1 too many sips. So no matter what you're doing or who you're with, when you're enjoying a Coke Zero Sugar, be ready to protect it from takers at all times. Because 1 sip begs the question, is this the best Coke ever? Take a taste and see.
Hi, I'm Ryan Blaney, a 3rd-generation race car driver, and I dedicate a lot of my time going fast. But when my grandpa was diagnosed with Alzheimer's, it was a very unexpected bump in the road for us. It's important to notice if older family members are acting differently or having trouble with routine tasks. Early detection of Alzheimer's can give your family time to explore support services and access available treatments. If you or your family are noticing changes, it could be Alzheimer's. Talk about seeing a doctor together. Visit alz.org/time to talk. A message from the Alzheimer's Association and the Ad Council.
We still have 10 cars that have yet to pit. They include race leader, and obviously because they haven't pitted, and right now we have 11 cars on the lead lap. But among those that have not pitted, top 5 at the moment and needing at some point to come to pit road is Brad Keselowski, Daniel Suarez, Bubba Wallace, Joey Logano, and Austin Dillon. Those are all drivers that were running on the tail end of the lead lap. And Alex Hayden, at some point or another, with 100 to go, they're going to need to come to pit road.
Race leader Brad Keselowski must be listening to you right now. He is now on the pit lane. That silver and blue Fastenal Ford Mustang. Brad Keselowski will make his stop in front of Steve Post.
Brad Keselowski, a solid top 5 run here as Brad Keselowski comes down around to the right side. Now crew around to the left side for Brad Keselowski. Going to be 4 tires, Sunoco Racing Fuel. Austin Cindric getting pit service as well as they roll along. Pit stops here continue at Martinsville.
BJ McLeod with a problem, flat left rear tire. He would love to see the caution. It has yet to come out Actually, that is Anthony Alfredo driving the number 78. Alfredo does not get the caution. He's on pit road. Daniel Suarez, as we cycle around, he needs to come to pit road, but right now he is the race leader. From Martinsville Speedway, this is the Motor Racing Network, the voice of NASCAR.
Hi, I'm MRN lead pit reporter Steve Post. Go behind the scenes each week with me and championship-winning crew chief Todd Gordon for MRN Crew Call.
Really proud of those guys and what they put together.
Where we talk to first-time winners. Crew chief for Trackhouse Racing, Travis
And
McJones, and champions from the NASCAR Cup Series.
The fine time to leave me
championship-winning crew chief Paul Wolf to the Craftsman Truck Series. The championship-winning crew chief with driver Zane Smith joins us. You can download MRN Crew Call wherever you get your podcasts.
The racing, the big one, the camping. It's all just bigger at Talladega. And with a doubleheader on Saturday and a cup race on Sunday, it's just going to keep getting bigger and bigger and bigger.
One thing for sure, it's always thrilling.
And as they go across the stripe, a photo finish! NASCAR Weekend at Talladega, April 22nd and 23rd. Get your tickets now at TalladegaSuperspeedway.com.
A race-changing moment just a lap ago. We talked about Anthony Alfredo. There was a tire that got away, and it put us under the caution. And when it did, it was in the middle of the green flag cycle of pit stops. We talked about those that did not pit. And did they get a break?
They absolutely did. There's drivers like Bubba Wallace, who was in jeopardy of going a lap down, finally did go a lap down. He's being scored second right now. He stayed out there through this cycle, and he's going to be in great shape track position-wise. Same can be said for Joey Logano. He is now in the number 4 spot. Michael McDowell is 7th. Martin Truex Jr. spent the better part of today's race a lap down. He's back on the lead lap in 8th. So there's some new players at the table.
All right, so he just gave you the drivers that will for sure come to pit road. The drivers that did come to pit road and are in the top 10 are Kevin Harvick. Does he come back? Don't know. Hamlin, Eric Almirola. Among them also Chase Briscoe, Tyler Reddick, and Kyle Larson. Who comes to pit road and who does not? There are only 11 cars at the moment on the lead lap. We knew Daniel Suarez had no choice. Here he comes. Right now he's all alone. Daniel Suarez has come to pit road. Further back, Bubba Wallace will do the same thing. Daniel Suarez is on pit road. What a break for him, Steve Post.
Yes, indeed it was. When that tire was out on the racetrack, Travis Mack, the crew chief, the crew were jumping up and down and grabbed a NASCAR official, were pointing to it, and finally the caution came out. Suarez has had a top 10 car. It's faded a little bit to the back half of the top 10. A little bit loose is what he's been dealing with. This is a break. This puts him back toward the front of the field. Going to be 4 tires, NOCO Racing Fuel. Daniel Suarez, of these cars, going to be the first one out onto the racetrack. You documented how far ahead of everyone else he was. He's the only car that's rolled off. None of those other cars that have pitted at this point have even rolled by us here at pit exit. Kim Coon, how about in front of you?
Well, we obviously had Joey Logano making his stop. That caution fell serendipitously. They were waiting for it, knew they didn't have the car outright, so we're trying to play the strategy card. Early in that run, he said that it was a little bit free, but the best it had been all day. Then halfway through the run had said the rears are gone. So 4 fresh Goodyear tires for Joey Logano, as well as Sunoco fuel. Also, though, taking the opportunity to make another stop on pit road. Denny Hamlin was here, as well as Eric Almirola. Bubba Wallace also making his stop on the beginning end of pit road.
Not everybody came to pit lane there that was up there at the front of the field and on the lead lap, Todd. That's significant. There's some gambling going on and some scenarios that are about to play out.
Yeah, this was one of those things. You're 10 laps into tires, depending on where you were in the cycle. We had 3 stay out. Chase Briscoe, Tyler Reddick, and Kyle Larson elected not to come to pit road to have a shot at the front row. Be interesting to see how this plays out. And whether this goes green to the end or whether we end up with another cycle, it could change whether this play is good or bad.
Dave Moody, race-changing moment. Briscoe, Reddick, Larson, Suarez, Harvick, top 5. Suarez and Kevin Harvick changing tires, Dave. Bubba Wallace getting a significant break. Same with Logano. They're 6-7. Denny Hamlin now as the race leader prior, back in 8th. Eric Almirola, Michael McDowell. You just don't know what's going to happen next.
Well, the deck has been thoroughly shuffled now. There's no question about that. Some drivers that have got good race cars but just did not have any track position have got both now. A couple of guys that had really good race cars and very good track position now have maybe one or the other. It's going to be very interesting to see how this all works out.
Finish.
It will. And by the way,
Despite
with
the
the tire that came off the right rear of Anthony Alfredo, one of the new rules this year with that happening is a mandatory 2-lap penalty in today's race. Plus 2 crew members will be suspended for the next 2 points-paying races in the NASCAR Cup Series.
It used to be a mandatory 4-race suspension.
90 to go. Next time by, why don't we go back and visit Rusty Wallace's Progressive keys to winning the race today. And of course, that is presented by Progressive Insurance. Looking for a career path with flexibility and great pay and benefits? Go to progressive.com/careers and apply today. Bundle today as well at Progressive.com. These brought to you by Progressive Insurance. What do you say?
Well, NASCAR Hall of Famer Rusty Wallace said you got to be mindful of these curbs that are up some 6 to 7 inches in the middle of the corners. A couple of drivers have touched them, but no real issues there. It's a tight pit road, said Rusty Wallace. He's right as usual, and you got to be careful. There's been a couple of cars that have touched on the pit lane, but nothing significant. And he also said no pit penalties. We've seen a boatload of pit road speeding penalties that's gotten a lot of drivers behind the 8 ball, but for drivers like Bubba Wallace, well, they've gotten themselves a stay of execution here because with them staying out strategically, Booty Barker, the crew chief there, leaving his driver on the track, hoping for a caution. He got it, and now Bubba Wallace is back in the game.
Eric Jones being slapped with a penalty. 1 to go next time by. Choose, rule in play. Who will elect to start on the outside? We'll find out. By the way, improper fueling penalty handed out to the 43 of Eric Jones. He's dropping to the tail. We also see Kyle Busch way down on the inside of the racetrack, dropping back to the tail end of the field. This is going to get exciting. It's been exciting. More so coming up now.
How aggressive are they going to be on this restart? There'll be 88 laps to go, and they come back around to take the green flag. They're choosing which lane they want to restart in now. Nothing major on a shake-up there. Means the field's coming to the Geico Restart Zone, presented by Geico. Switch to Geico today and see all the ways you could save. It's easy. Simply go to geico.com to get a rate quote and get started seeing how much you could save.
4 of the top 6 cars electing to restart on the inside. Those going outside, what can they do with it? Kyle Larson, Kevin Harvick, outside row 2. Outside row 3, Logano. Outside row 4, Hamlin. He actually lines up next to Bubba Wallace. The car he owns. Hang on, this thing's going to get physical now. Ford, Chevrolet for the restart. Briscoe and Kyle Larson.
Up off of turn 4 into the aforementioned Geico Restart Zone. Greg Harris puts the green flag
Exclamation
in the air.
point, restart, green
again,
flag.
Martinsville. Tyler Reddick dives for the bottom. Chase Briscoe does some mirror driving to hold him off.
Reddick was thinking 3 wide to the side off Turson, falls in line 2nd. Reddick to the inside of Harvick for 3rd.
Boy,
he gets into Larson.
Boy, that is a good battle. You got Kyle Larson. Here comes Reddick. He's going to get the block thrown on him by Larson. Hung out on the outside. Let's see what he can do. That's Kevin Harvick.
Kyler Reddick's got the plow down right now, just trying to make himself some real estate. That allows Briscoe to get away by about 4 car lengths. Larson is 2nd, Reddick 3rd. Now Suarez to the inside
of Kevin Harvick, and they make slight contact off turn 4. Harvick gets away with the position. Suarez will fall in line 5th. 6th, it's Logano. 7th is Bubba Wallace.
Bubba Wallace in the 7th spot. 8th position belongs to Eric Almirola. He's got a 2x2 challenge behind him. Martin Truex Jr. to the inside on Denny Hamlin.
All right, so Denny Hamlin actually started alongside Alex Hayden, the car that he owns, if you remember, and that was row 4, Bubba Wallace. Bubba right now 2 full positions in front of Denny Hamlin, and he may, Alex, lose another spot.
Yeah, he's trying to get to the bottom. He finally does so in front of his teammate, Martin Truex Jr. It's worth mentioning, Truex has been a lap down the majority of the race today. He got that fortuitous caution flag a moment ago. He's back on the lead lap, and Truex is running in the top 10.
Down the back straightaway comes Chase Briscoe. His lead now has grown a bit. It's maybe 5 car lengths over Larson. 2 more back to Reddick, then a car length to Kevin Harvick.
The older tires, but albeit by only 15 laps, and some of those were caution. The top 3 on older tires out front. It is Briscoe, Larson, Reddick. First car on new tires, lines up 4th, and that's Kevin Harvick.
Harvick trying to close in on the back bumper of the Tyler Reddick machine. Not quite close enough to make a run. Back just outside the top 10. Michael McDowell gets a little shove from behind. Noah Gragson will move underneath him.
Gragson tries to take the spot, but Gragson loose up off of turn number 4. That enables Michael McDowell to come right back to his outside.
McDowell freewheeling it on the outside lane. Noah Gragson hugs the bottom, now slides up across the nose, and will take that position. Problems aren't over yet for Michael McDowell. He gets a bump from behind by Ty Dillon.
Ryan Blaney right there, Justin Haley right there, Alex Bowman is right there. 24 cars right now running on the lead lap, Dave, with 80 to go.
And a lot of drivers, Jeff, that didn't think they had a shot at a top 10, 12, even 15 finish, all of a sudden are getting really optimistic and really aggressive trying to make it happen.
They've got to do it now as there's 81 laps to go in today's NOCO 400 at Martinsville. The race leader continues to be Chase Briscoe. Nearly 1 full second now over second place Kyle Larson. Tyler Reddick is there in 3rd. Kevin Harvick goes 4th. Daniel Suarez rounds out the top 5 as they exit the corner. Jeff, this race has had a little bit of everything when it comes to twists and turns.
How about the driver running 6th, Alex, his name is Joey Logano, a non-factor all day long. Bubba Wallace able to rebound from going a lap down. Truex a lap down. He's now been able to rebound simply because of the time the caution flag flew. Now they just need to take advantage of it.
And it's, you have to talk about the crew chiefs down there that had the guts to keep their driver out there slipping and sliding on old tires, hoping for exactly what happened. A caution flag to come out, the opportunity to pit as a lead lap driver. Todd Gordon, it's something that you've been faced with a handful of times in your career as a championship-winning crew chief. How difficult is it to make those types of decisions?
Well, you've got to look at what your outlook is for the day, and when you're buried back in 20th and bouncing around tail of the lead lap, you're going to stay out and take an opportunity, especially when the caution cycle happens and you've got a 40, 50, 60 lap window before you're going to run out of gas. It gives you a great opportunity to gamble here. And it's one of those things when your day's not going well, you become more of a gambler.
Some have benefited, others have taken a pretty significant shot. Remember, we were talking a lot about Todd Gilliland. He is now back in 18th. Brad Keselowski, Alex, was running top 5. Now Brad is running 21st, so it just depends on when you pit. If the caution comes out, it did, and it has certainly shuffled up this race.
It has. There's some more beating and banging going on deeper in the field. A.J. Allmendinger's in that mix. Ross Chastain is in the mix. Chris Buescher and Dave, it's full contact.
Yeah, no doubt about it. And, you know, A.J. is one of those drivers I was talking about earlier that wasn't having a great day, now has an opportunity to do that. Chris Buescher has just had struggle after struggle this afternoon. He's got an opportunity to try and resurrect his day. And I think, you know, the Joey Logano situation is typical. That's what makes a lot of the time a champion. When you're having an off day, but you catch a break, you make the most of it. And right now, he is running far better and far further up the leaderboard than he has all afternoon.
Right now, A.J. Allmendinger will need a break because A.J. is 1 lap down. He is running in front of Ross Chastain, who is 14th. Chris Buescher is right there. All the while at the front of the field. And man, you called it out before. Other than Denny Hamlin and Ross Chastain, it has been a Ford Mustang kind of day. And right now, Alex, the Ford Mustang driver, Chase Briscoe, and he's just trying to drive away.
Take it a step further, Jeff. Not only a Ford Mustang kind of day, it's been a Stewart-Haas Racing kind of day today, with Ryan Preece from the pole leading the most laps so far today. Chase Briscoe's led the second most laps today. Kevin Harvick, he led 19 laps today as well. So Stewart-Haas Racing in general, and Almirola's been in the top 10 all day long.
3 of the 4 Stewart-Haas Ford Mustangs running in the top 10. The only one not Ryan Preece, who does try to continue to climb the leaderboard. Right now, he is running 16th, Alex, 70 laps to go.
So it's Chase Briscoe, Kyle Larson, Tyler Reddick, Kevin Harvick, and Daniel Suarez, the front 5.
Will they find a home? Sponsored by Geico. Sarah wants a yard. My own little paradise. Brad, however, hates yard work.
The only thing I hate more than cutting the grass is paying someone to cut the grass.
Compromise is tough, but these two won't have to compromise when they bundle home and car insurance with Geico. It's easy, and they could save even more. In the end, Sarah and Brad found a great home with a yard. A very, very small yard.
Time to get it done. And I'm done.
Bundling without compromise at Geico.com.
The Tough Trucks of NASCAR, an exclusive podcast from the Motor Racing Network.
For today, green flag is in the air, and he will take the field quickly to turn 1.
Relive the moments of the NASCAR Craftsman Truck Series from its debut in 1995.
Checkered flag in the air, Skinner wins from the inaugural for the NASCAR Truck Series by Craftsman.
The legends of the NASCAR Craftsman Truck Series.
Top of 9 wins 4 in a row on super speedways.
The Tough Trucks of NASCAR, available on podcast platforms and MRN.com.
No change in the running order as far as the top 5 goes. It's Chase Briscoe still leading Kyle Larson, Tyler Reddick, Kevin Harvick, and Daniel Suarez. 66 laps to go next time by from Martinsville Speedway. This is the Motor Racing Network, the voice of NASCAR.
Buying a house can feel like you're going 200 miles per hour in bumper-to-bumper traffic with a dirty windshield and the sun in your eyes. Ruoff Mortgage has the technology, expert staff, and resources to simplify the process while speeding up the time it takes to get clear to close. So while getting a loan can seem intimidating, Ruoff Mortgage will have you opening the door to your new home fast and stress-free. Visit Ruoff.com to learn more. That's Ruoff.com.
Jeff Gordon wins the Daytona 500. Jeff Gordon's rise to one of NASCAR's all-time greatest drivers was one like no one. Relive Jeff Gordon's journey to the NASCAR Hall of Fame with the exclusive MRN podcast, Jeff Gordon, A Colorful Career. 93 Cup Series wins, 5 Cup Series championships, and 3 Daytona 500 victories. A career rivaled by few others. Check out MRN's Jeff Gordon, A Colorful Career on podcast platforms and MRN.com.
Chase Briscoe continues to show the way here at the Martinsville Speedway. The sun is beating down here. The wind has picked up significantly. Big American flag on the back straightaway is pointing from turn 2 straight down to turn number 3. Big thing now, Jeff, for Chase Briscoe. He has encountered the tail end of the field, and he's got a lot of traffic to deal with.
How big would this be, Dave, for Chase Briscoe? He is making career start number 81. He went to victory lane at Phoenix. That was 40 races ago. And I guess when you win your second one, you can say, you see, that wasn't a fluke. We are a championship contending team. He's driving like that right now.
He really is. He is, I don't know if he's driving that car a little harder than he has to at the moment, because he continues to pull away from Kyle Larson. Of course, we've documented he's driving with that badly broken middle finger on his left hand that was suffered in a dirt track race the week before the Bristol dirt race. He's going in to have that put back together surgically tomorrow. This could be the first time in the history of the sport we've had a win on Sunday, surgery on Monday scenario, and that could be what it is for Chase Briscoe.
That'll definitely be an interesting take and see how it goes. The last long green flag run we had, he got off to a lead, and later in the run, it seemed like it fell off a little bit. We'll see if they've adjusted that car where they can keep the long run speed in it.
He has closed in now on the back bumper of Eric Jones, who has not had a very Eric Jones type of day. Jones 2 laps down, in jeopardy of falling a 3rd lap down now as Briscoe is there. But Kyle Larson is in that lap traffic as well, trying to navigate it. Behind them on the back stretch, the battle for 3rd.
Oh, trouble in turn number 3. Hard up into the wall goes J.J. Yaley.
Yaley in the wall. Caution.
He may have caught a tire or something let go under the hood, but he went straight up the racetrack and walloped the safer barrier in 3.
And that will put us under the caution flag for just the 5th time here this afternoon. Chase Briscoe out front, but this could change everything.
What good are jumper cables when you're all alone? Roadside assistance can take hours to arrive. Don't wait for help when you can do it yourself. Safely jumpstart any vehicle in seconds with NOCO Boost Ultra Safe Lithium Jump Starters. Get back on the road faster with NOCO Boost. Available at AutoZone, Walmart, Advance Auto Parts, or online at NOCOBoost.com. Start dead batteries with NOCO Boost.
This is Steve Post. If you love sprint cars, you'll love Wing Nation. Join World of Outlaw winner Aaron Evernham and me every Tuesday at noon Eastern Time on Motor Racing Networks and Wing Nation's Facebook pages. We go live with the weekend's winners and newsmakers from around the country each and every week. You can also find the podcast of all past shows on YouTube or subscribe to the podcast on any of your favorite podcast providers. Wing Nation, all sprint cars, all the time.
Pit road is open. 55 laps remain. Now, who will gamble here?
5 to go.
Opportunity to take 2 tires instead of 4. Opportunity to grab 4 brand new Goodyear Racing Eagles. Who elects to come to pit road? Here comes the leader, Chase Briscoe, Kyle Larson are all going to stack up. Now, what do they do? Kim Kuhn, you've got the race leader headed your way.
And Chase was iffy. He said, I don't know that new tires can do much, but they elected to bring him down regardless. The crew pumping the jack, right side tires on. They're getting ready to go to the left side tires on for Chase Briscoe, just a little bit free. They're going to get a splash of NOCO fuel as Chase Elliott pulls into pit box. Bubba Wallace making it stop. Ryan Blaney, Ty Gibbs, Christopher Bell, and other cars headed your way. Steve Post.
Kevin Harvick going to be 4 tires. Daniel Suarez is going to be 4 tires. They talk with Ross Chastain and Kyle Larson going to win the race out from pit road. Actually, Daniel Suarez goes out second. It might have been a 2-tire audible on that one. Chase Briscoe goes out there with Kevin Harvick 4th. We'll see how this all shuffles around with cars that stayed out and cars that pitted here on lap 343.
From Martinsville Speedway, this is the Motor Racing Network, the voice of NASCAR.
For 75 years, NASCAR has been making history.
Dale Earnhardt Jr. comes back to the Daytona International Speedway, leading the pack, coming to the line. He will win the Pepsi 400.
Catch the next iconic moment as we celebrate 75 years of NASCAR all season long.
Chastain did a video game move, drove it and never lifted.
Right here on the Motor Racing Network, the voice of NASCAR.
Do you have an unused car, truck, motorcycle, boat, or RV taking up space? Put it to good use by donating it to the NASCAR Foundation. Proceeds help fund medical resources for children in our racing community. Your wheels can heal. Call 844-NASCAR-9 and we'll come tow away your vehicle for free. The process is quick and your gift is tax deductible. Call 844-NASCAR-9 to donate your vehicle to the NASCAR Foundation today. Your donation will help our children survive and thrive.
Back at Martinsville Speedway, a handful of drivers came to pit lane. Steve Post, one of those drivers and a front runner, is back on pit road.
Yeah, Kevin Harvick went out on the racetrack, right front flat tires. So the crew now working on the right front of that car. So Kevin Harvick had a good-looking run going, but he's got a lot of work to do. And they're just taking a once-over on the car now. They're not racing anybody off from pit road. So Kevin Harvick down and away. We'll see where he fares on this one, but he went from a front runner to a guy that's going to be well deep in the field.
How about 25th unofficially? That's work to do, Postman. That's a tough break for a tough competitor that ran at the front of the field most of the day. Logano, I don't know how Joey's got it up there. I really don't, Todd. But while we're talking about Joey, why don't we pick the Xfinity Mobile Reliable Performance of the Race so far? Presented by Xfinity. Xfinity keeps you connected with the fastest mobile service with 5G and millions of Wi-Fi hotspots. Learn more at xfinity.com/mobile. I don't know who to start with here because I know you're probably going to go in different directions. So, Alex, you're up. What do you think?
Yeah, I think Joey Logano and Paul Wolf, crew chief there, they've done nice job. They made unapproved adjustments this morning, started at the back of the field, got a lap down, got it back, then got a lap down again, got it back again. They've had some breaks go their way. I like Joey Logano. Todd Gordon, what say you?
I'm going to look right behind him. Eric Almirola, struggle of a year so far, really not putting things together. Stuart Haas as a whole has been really good today, but Eric's bounced back a little bit, but he's maintained himself in the top 10 all day, put him in position to take arguably the front row here with a really strong car for the final, what could be the final restart.
All right, so we got a Logano, we got an Eric Almirola. I'm going to do one more, and I think I'm going to pick Steve Post. Steve, reliable move of the race so far presented by Xfinity. You got a thought?
Well, I'm looking like Eric Almirola as well. I think it's a great move by Joey Logano. I just don't know if they have the car to make the move, finish the move off, where I do think Eric Almirola has been steady, rock solid at the front, and I like the position that Drew Blickensderfer has put Eric Almirola in over the course of this race.
We'll find out here as we've got 49 laps to go this time by. Kevin Harvick, again, if you're just joining us, has been in the top 5 and top 10 most all day long. He just had to make an unscheduled second pit stop under this caution flag for a right front tire that went down flat. Had to come to pit lane. He's back on the racetrack. Harvick is the last car on the lead lap in the 25th position right now with 49 laps to go, Jeff, and that's a tall order to get back towards the front of the field.
We saw his teammate have to do the same thing in Ryan Preece, and we also recognized just what a tall order that was. Preece has come up to 18th, but that's all. Dave Moody, at your feet. They still continue to work on that wrecked race car. What do you see?
Yeah, they've got a problem getting it towed away. The front end is up and hooked up to the back end of the wrecker. Unfortunately, the car was stuck in gear after that big hit into the safety barrier in turn 3. They tried to tow it away, and the rear wheels were locked and just sliding.
15 still stuck on track.
Had to climb out of the rescue vehicle and go and try and get that thing out of gear, and I think they've got it now.
I believe you're right. The back wheels are turning as it is on the wrecker, making its way back around the racetrack now, and will head for the pit lane. All this does is force these drivers to sit back and think again. Okay, first and foremost, I've got to choose to decide which lane I want to restart in here in another couple of laps.
I'm going inside. I don't care where I'm running. I'm taking the inside lane.
And
then, let's go.
Well, what do you got, Todd?
For P2, you're going to take the inside?
Yes, I'm going to take the inside, Todd.
I'm going to put myself beside Joey Logano if I'm Eric Almirola, because I think I'm faster than him, and I think I can beat him.
Yeah, maybe.
We'll see.
If you don't beat him, you're going to drift outside of the top 5. Alex, what are you going to do?
In this scenario, the second place car being Almirola has been better than Logano all day. How can you not go out there? You got to have confidence in your equipment, confidence in yourself, and go up there and try to grab the lead away.
Yeah, well, we're going to find out. Harvick, what was the issue that has put him all the way back in 25th, Steve?
Jeff, Rusty Wallace in his progressive keys to the race talks about miscues on pit road every week. When we come on Motor Racing Network, the right front tire was loose on Kevin Harvick's car, so they had to come down and tighten it up.
Tough one. It is just a tough deal for Kevin Harvick and that team after having such a strong run here. That doesn't mean they're out of this thing by any means. There's a lot that can happen at Martinsville Speedway in 40, 42, 43 laps as we're going to get the one to go this time by, an opportunity to pick what lane you want to restart in.
I know what lane I want to restart in, Alex. I told you, inside. Joey Logano's going to go inside, and Eric Almirola looked and then went outside. Todd, you won, but you only won to choose. You have yet to win that race. So, you know, you've got to get a start here. If you're Eric Almirola, don't you feel like you've got to be leading him with a fender out front off 2 if you're going to make it work?
I think so, and this is, again, Almirola's been a top 5, top 10 car all day long.
47 to go.
This is where you know what you've got 353 laps into this race. This isn't the first restart he's been through. I think Almirola, his only issue is he's not the control car in the Geico restart zone. That's Joey Logano. Logano may very well be the best at restarts and maybe the best at playing sportsmanship games in the restart zone as well. Completely legal, though.
Let's find out. 46 to go. Row 2. Hamlin and Larson and Stenhouse and Briscoe up front. Logano on the inside. Eric Almirola on the outside. Joey bolts away.
And
he will take the lead easily to turn 1. The battle will be for second between Hamlin and Eric Almirola.
Almirola did not get a good restart. No shot at Logano, and he's going to have to fight now for the second spot. He's got the top of the racetrack. Denny Hamlin is down low.
And he's going to bang quarter panels with Eric Almirola on exit of turn number 4. They stay wheel to wheel. These two drivers do not want to give an inch. They're racing for second.
Side by side for the number 2 position. The low line has the advantage. Denny Hamlin goes to the number 2 spot. Almirola now drop kick back to 3rd, but here comes Kyle Larson to the inside.
Eric Almirola hung out to dry on the outside. Kyle Larson working down to the inside of Eric. Right behind Chase Briscoe and Ricky Stenhouse Jr.
Everybody lined up to the inside of Eric Almirola as Almirola just takes a beating in that outside lane. He's back into a side-by-side battle for 3rd. He's got 3 cars lined up underneath him.
And one of them is his teammate Chase Briscoe. He's not going to play nice on the front stretch. Briscoe's going to keep his right front fender down there and continue to force Eric Almirola topside.
Too late for teammates here at Martinsville. They are going to go side-by-side now for position number 4. It's Briscoe now to the inside. Almirola to the outside with Ricky Stenhouse Jr. and Daniel Suarez behind.
42 laps to go. 3 wide. Austin Dillon, Michael McDowell, William Byron right behind them. Alex Bowman. And a number of others drivers, Dave. It's getting physical again.
Side-by-side battle now is for the number 7 position. That's where Daniel Suarez hits the bottom of the racetrack. Ryan Blaney up high. He drifts a little wide in 3 and lets Suarez get away.
Meanwhile, up front, the battle for second is on. Kyle Larson to the inside of Denny Hamlin.
Larson to the low line. Forces his way underneath Denny Hamlin.
Larson wants it.
That's going to be a drag race down the back straightaway. Larson down low. Hamlin up high. No contest. Kyle Larson to second.
Kyle Larson coming to second. Meanwhile, we hear his teammate, William Byron, may have a engine going sour. We'll continue to monitor that as we monitor Joey Logano trying to drive away from the field.
And if you're one of the 100 guys and you're hearing this, you gotta be on pins and needles right now. If you're a Chase Elliott or
rapidly
an
4
Alex
car
Bowman,
lengths to deficit for Kyle Larson in the number 2 spot on race leader Joey Logano. Then another 3 back to Denny Hamlin in 3rd.
Down the back stretch, Larson just trying to reel in the Joey Logano machine. Joey has manufactured a great race out of nothing, but the lead is diminishing, and it's diminishing quickly.
Remember, we were talking about Hendrick Motorsports domination here and how they really were not a factor. And all of a sudden, Alex Hayden, as this thing begins to wind down, closing in on 35 to go, even though they don't have a number of cars in the top 10, they've got one, and that one is looking for the win.
And that's Kyle Larson, and he has chopped the deficit down even more to race leader Joey Logano. The battle for the lead is on at Martinsville.
Unless Joey Logano can put on a defensive masterclass, this one's not going to take very long. Kyle Larson has run him down from 7 or 8 car lengths back.
Running down
he is on the back bumper in 3.
So we watch him come off turn number 2. We can have a battle for the lead right here. We're winding this thing down. Ford versus Chevrolet. Logano versus Kyle Larson off 2.
Larson looks to the inside and exit at turn number 2. Doesn't get the fight. In fact, Logano able to drive away by about a half a car length.
As they exit turn number 4, they stay nose to tail up off the corner. Logano and his black and red Verizon Ford. The red, white, and blue HendrickCars.com Chevrolet. Larson is there.
Larson goes wide between 1 and 2. Diamonds the corner, tries to dive to the inside, makes the move into 3, but it's not there. He'll tuck it back in on the rear bumper.
The top 2 beginning to pull away from Denny Hamlin, Briscoe, and Eric Almirola. All eyes at the front of the field. The red and black Ford Mustang of Joey Logano, the blue and white Chevrolet of Kyle Larson.
There's no doubt that Larson has the quicker automobile right now, but Joey Logano has been perfect playing defense so far. He continues to show the way.
Logano unflappable off the corner. 2 NASCAR Cup Series champions battling for the top spot at Martinsville. Under the sunshine, it's Logano and Larson.
One mistake is all it's going to take for Kyle Larson, and he will be long gone. But so far, Logano has been perfect. He continues to lead into 3.
Kyle Larson will look outside, crossover, move. He dives down to the inside. What a move by Kyle Larson, but Logano too strong. He'll slam the door and hold on to the top spot.
Joey, though, drives it deep into 1. Can he hold the bottom? He can. Coming off turn number 2, another bid repelled by Joey Logano. He continues to show the way.
How hard are these 2 abusing their Goodyear Eagle tires now? 31 laps to go. Denny Hamlin riding along in 3rd. Here's the battle for the lead again. Larson wedges his way to the bottom.
Dive bombs to the inside, and this time he's got the whole shot. Side by side off turn number 2. The crowd is on its feet. It's Logano up high. Larson down low, wheel to wheel for the lead.
Not only a battle for the lead, it may be the battle for the win here today. They're side by side, still at the line. Ford on the outside, Chevrolet on the inside.
There is no quit in Joey Logano. He rides right with him off turn number 2. Actually puts a fender back into the lead on the outside. What a drive by Joey Logano. What a battle for the lead.
Larson on the bottom of the racetrack. Quickly snaps the steering wheel to the driver's left. He cuts off the corner. Logano has momentum on the outside. They're still side by side.
Spectacular racing for the win this afternoon at Martinsville. Larson this time, he's got him in turn 2. He pulls back up in front of him. Kyle Larson to the lead.
With 28 laps to go, now he's going to get a tap in the rear end by Joey Logano, but that is not going to matter with 28 to go. Kyle Larson shows the way. Joey Logano, Denny Hamlin, Chase Briscoe, Eric Almirola will step away. The finish from Martinsville coming up next.
This is going to get intense.
Oh, I cracked the hull of my new ski boat today. Oh my gosh, why'd you do that? It's not like I was trying to do it, you know. Sorry, that's rough, my bad, bro. Did anyone witness this epic fail? Yes, there's videos galore, and now I'm a meme.
Accidents don't just happen in sea shanties, so Progressive Boat Insurance has you covered. Take as little as 4 minutes to see what you can save at Progressive.com. Progressive Casualty Insurance Company and affiliates, covered subject to policy terms and
Chase Elliott putting on a show in his first
iRacing and NASCAR congratulate Joe Gibbs Racing's Bobby Zielinski on his 2nd straight victory at Monza. Tune in Tuesday night at 9 p.m. Eastern for round 6 at Talladega on eNASCAR.com. This eNASCAR Coca-Cola iRacing update is brought to you by Coca-Cola Zero Sugar. Coke Zero Sugar tastes so good, people will take a taste any way they can. So when you're enjoying a Coke Zero Sugar, be ready to protect it. Because once it begs the question, is this the best Coke ever? Take a taste and see.
Kyle Larson has gone bye-bye on the field. Goodbye, Logano, Hamlin, Briscoe, and Eric Almirola. But why do people come to Martinsville Speedway? For what we just witnessed, for lap after lap between Larson and Logano for the top spot. We're down to 23 to go, and Kyle Larson is driving away from Martinsville Speedway. This is the Motor Racing Network, the voice of NASCAR.
NASCAR's next generation of stars driving the NASCAR Craftsman Truck Series.
And here they come. Zane Smith now will try to advance his way to the lead.
Catch the excitement of every race right here.
NASCAR has made it official. Zane Smith is a back-to-back winner at the Daytona International Speedway in the opener.
On the Motor Racing Network, the voice of NASCAR.
For 3 decades, Racing Electronics has been the #1 choice for scanners, headsets, and all race communications needs. Racing Electronics provides the ultimate fan experience for the ultimate NASCAR fan. Don't forget to rent early because Racing Electronics rentals must be purchased in advance online. Hear uncensored communication from every team in the race with a scanner from Racing Electronics. Stop by and see them in the vendor area to purchase your very own. Visit racingelectronics.com for more information.
To show up and disappear.
Shut the lights out after you complete this run, Kyle Larson. He is driving away from everybody, pulling away from Logano, who I think would be very, very happy with a top 5 finish after the run they've had here. I don't know that Denny's going to be happy. Hamlin, that is, finishing 3rd. They had a car to win. Same for Chase Briscoe. Eric Almirola has run inside the top 5 almost all afternoon. Where did Truex come from as he drives by Eric? And we'll get an update on Kyle in a moment. But when you think about Truex, a lap down, not very good. His teammate, Denny, was the one that put him a lap down. Just flat out to lunch, but not anymore.
Yeah, now you look at him and he's in typical old Truex form here at the end of the race, knocking on doors and opening holes and driving forward. He's passed 3 or 4 cars here in the last 15 laps, working his way forward. He's in a tight battle. I would say, you know, 2nd, 3rd, 4th, and 5th are within probably just over a second and a half.
As we're down to 17 laps to go. It isn't over yet. Still 17 laps must be run. Keeping in mind, history tells us 2 of the last 3 races here at Martinsville have gone to overtime.
Kyle Larson doesn't want to see that happen. Kim Kuhn has been in Kyle Larson's pit all afternoon long as he begins to pull away. What are they saying, Kim?
Well, Cliff Daniels, the crew chief, we know he's a dynamo atop the pit box. He's a championship crew chief, but maybe the most important role he plays for that 5 team is cheerleader for Kyle Larson. Time and time again, he has proved getting on the radio and giving his driver a pep talk is exactly what Kyle Larson needs, and that's what they did right before the green flag. Kyle came in, got 2 fresh right side tires. There were a couple drivers that stayed out, including Denny Hamlin, Eric Almirola, Joey Logano. So before the green flag, Cliff got on the radio with Kyle and gave him an update on each of those drivers that Kyle would have to pass, ending with Joey Logano, the leader, and telling Kyle, Joey does not have the car you have. He said at one point he was a lap down. The only reason they're in position is because of an aggressive pit strategy. You have the car to beat him. So Cliff Daniels, again, playing an important role, giving his driver the confidence to do what we saw Larson do on track, and that's battle it out with Logano for the lead, which he holds now.
Cliff Daniels, not unlike a lot of different crew chiefs down there, including Todd Gordon, used to be race car drivers themselves. He grew up running Legends cars and also late model stock cars throughout the Southeast. I've had the privilege of calling a lot of their late model races. He and his sister Tiffany drove for a long time, won a lot of races. She was an engineer. She did some public relations work. They come out of the south, I guess you call southeastern part of Virginia, in and around the Norfolk, Virginia area and the Smithfield, Virginia area. All around that area, their family owned a company called Clean Sweep, which swept parking lots after businesses closed overnight. And Cliff Daniels was one of them that got in the sweeper truck, drove around the parking lots, and learned to drive that way.
And Kyle Larson has learned to drive out front. He's never won here before, but he was runner-up the last time we were here in October. And right now, Kyle comes across the line. And as he does that, just to paint the picture, Logano across the line right now. Dave, it's about a quarter of a racetrack advantage for the driver of the Chevrolet.
Kyle Larson just picking his way through lap traffic. Todd Gilliland's afternoon has gone away in a hurry. He was a top 10 car for a good long while. He's just lost the lead lap. The battle now is for the 3rd spot. Denny Hamlin has got a handful of Martin Truex Jr.
Truex and Hamlin are teammates at Joe Gibbs Racing. We're down to single digits on the lap count. 9 to go as Hamlin and Truex race off the corner.
Denny Hamlin off turn number 2 and down the back straightaway. Truex for the moment can only follow in his tire tracks. Chase Briscoe about another car length back, and then 2 more to Eric Almirola.
How long ago was it before when we said Hendrick and Joe Gibbs Racing so dominant here, but nowhere to be found. Now as we wind it down, Alex, I think we know where they are.
Yeah, they're in the lead by almost 4 seconds in the Hendrick Chevrolet of Kyle Larson, and then Joe Gibbs Racing go 3rd and 4th with Hamlin and Truex Jr. Running in between them and second is the Team Penske car of Joey Logano.
So we get ready to wind this thing down. 7 laps to go, Dave.
Challenge on for the number 3 spot. Martin Truex Jr. makes a hole to the inside of Denny Hamlin. MTJ goes to 3rd. Hamlin back to 4th. Chase Briscoe makes a run at him now.
They come up off of the corner and they'll settle things down. However, behind them, welcome to the top 10 and welcome
to the
back
top
to the
10.
track. Chase Elliott. He's underneath the Austin Dillon car. Chase Elliott now breaks into the top 10. The leaders are on the backstretch.
Down the backstretch they go. It's all Kyle Larson. He's got all the real estate he needs. Really, the only battle in the top 5 is that Denny Hamlin and Chase Briscoe battle.
And that's a good one, and that is for position number 4. Top 5, Dave. Larson, Logano, Truex, Hamlin, and Briscoe.
Here they come off turn number 2. Kyle Larson, very methodical, very smooth. He put a lap on the Ty Dillon machine. Next in line, Justin Haley. No worries for Larson.
Not at all. 4 laps to go as he flashes by the start-finish line. Larson again right at the bottom of the racetrack in turns 1 and 2.
Kyle Larson has not had the best car all
4 to
night.
go.
He has not been a top 5 car all afternoon at all, but when the chips were down, some good pit strategy and a little bit of a pep talk were all it took to get Larson out there.
How about the advantage of 4 seconds for Kyle Larson over Joey Logano? 3 laps to go here at the Martinsville Speedway.
Kyle Larson all by himself now has got some daylight. No real lap traffic that he needs to deal with. He'll close in on the Justin Haley machine. A little further back, it's Joey Logano running for his life because Truex is within a car length.
He's right there on the back bumper. 2 laps to go here at Martinsville. And again, Kyle Larson in traffic on the back bumper of Justin Haley.
Not sure if he'll decide to make the move or not. Well, he will now because Justin Haley just pulls down to the bottom and waves him on by. Goodbye, Kyle Larson.
White flag at the start-finish line. 3:99 down and 1 to go for Kyle Larson. His final trip around the paperclip. Kyle Larson off to final time.
Never doubt Hendrick Motorsports at Martinsville Speedway. They weren't in it to win it until very late. But this afternoon, it's Young Money. Kyle Larson heading for victory lane.
The short track season has been kind to Kyle Larson.
Kyle Larson wins at Martinsville.
In the air, and Kyle Larson wins at Martinsville Speedway in the NOCO 400. Larson picks up the win. Joey Logano will come home 2nd. Martin Truex Jr. will be 3rd. Denny Hamlin 4th. And Chase Briscoe finishes 5th. Let's go to pit road.
And it is a celebration in the 5 pit. The guys jumping off the pit wall, spraying water. High fives, fist bumps, hugs. The crew chief, Cliff Daniels. Man, at the beginning, you guys didn't have the car. You worked your way through it. And then that last green flag, you told your driver he had the car to win. He was better than the 22. You knew it, but how fun was it to watch your driver go to work?
Yeah, it was a lot of fun. I'm a little choked up right now.
Your top 10.
I've wanted to win
Larson
this race here
wins.
for a long time.
Logano 2nd, then Truex,
so proud of our team,
Briscoe,
proud of everybody back in the
Almirola,
shop.
Blaney, Stenhouse, Bubba Wallace, Chase Elliott scoring top 10 in his return.
Kyle has always doubted himself here, and I have no idea
Race
why.
took 2 hours,
he's
50
so good
minutes,
everywhere.
34 seconds.
If we give him a good
Just
enough car,
5
he can win anywhere. So
48 laps.
To win today, super special. Proud of our team. Thank you to Chevrolet, everybody back in the shop at Hendrick Motorsports.
24 cars finished on the lead lap.
This is absolutely incredible. Very thankful.
That is Cliff Daniels holding back, choking back tears here atop the pit box of the 5.
A John Force style burnout the entire length of the front straightaway for Kyle Larson. Cliff Daniels, head to the stage. You've got a grandfather clock waiting for you, and so does the team, including Kyle Larson, who is celebrating today. Sunoco puts the same focus and care that goes into the fuel at its stations that it does for the race fuel that powers the fastest racing machines around the world. Sunoco fueling NASCAR for 20 years.
Here's football star Tony Romo for Skechers Max Cushioning Footwear.
You know when you go to your kid's game and you have to sit on those uncomfortable, super hard bleachers?
That's going to be it for me. Not sure if I'll be on later tonight, but I will be on tomorrow, 11 a.m. for Red Sox and the Angels. Peace out, sports fans.
road speed. Brian Priest, again, another frustrating ending. Got to clean these mistakes up, and I think you might see that for victory lane.
But for Stuart Haas, Priest won the pole, led the most laps, and Stuart Haas finished second, fifth, and sixth.